right players tonight. Doesn't matter. Maybe you got rolling waivers. Maybe it's a daily thing. But either way, you got to get, on top of that now before your league mates do. Make sure you pick up the right players. And of course, it's not too early to talk start sit because we are about 48 hours from week 2
Yep.
action. So we're going to break down a big game already, big divisional game there between Dolphins and Bills, and some big names that already might sit out. And, that's just fitting following a Monday night game, which we saw pretty much the biggest name out there, the 1.1 in the vast majority of leagues. Yeah, that was fun. When about not even 2 hours. I think it was because we were live last night. Of course, we were live before the game Monday night, as we do. And I think midway through our stream, like about an hour before the game, CMC ruled out. Now, it's pretty obvious this is shenanigans because he got called out by his own guy inadvertently. So, what do you make of all this? And is it just pretty much a foregone conclusion we're not seeing him next week? That's what it sounds like.
Well, that's what Adam Schefter reported, but then the report today was like if it was a playoff game, he would have played. So I don't know, but wasn't that just the perfect end to week 1? Like the number 1 pick of fantasy, not like ruled out on like Friday or Saturday when you have plenty of time to like put somebody else. No, an hour before Monday Night Football when everybody else on your team has already played and you can't even sub them out because you're like, everybody on my team has already started. What do I do here? So, yeah, just the icing on the cake to a crazy, crazy week 1.
Yeah, and this is why if you have a guy like CMC, not every running back has what you would call a high-end handcuff. But CMC, no matter who's in that San Francisco offense, you probably want the backup running back. And, Chris, you were on it weeks ago preaching it's Jordan Mason. Get Jordan Mason. Even before, this was before Eli Mitchell was hurt on IR. It was looking like Jordan Mason was the guy. And last night he looked like the guy. So if you're in a league where Jordan Mason just is out there because nobody drafted him, which is very possible, and even if you're not the Christian McCaffrey owner, is he a must add?
Oh, absolutely a must add. I mean, how could you not there's no league where Jordan Mason should be on the waiver wire anymore. First of all, we already know Christian McCaffrey is hurt, but even if he plays this week, it's a calf. This is something that he could definitely re-aggravate. And whether you have McCaffrey or not, if Jordan Mason is out there, you need to have Jordan Mason on your team because we just saw that was the Jets. They're not pushover defense here, right? And he ran no problem on him. Right. So this guy, look at Christian McCaffrey. If today they said, hey, look, okay, we lied. It's actually he tore his Achilles and he's not going to play this year. Jordan Mason would be a league winner, 100%. No, not even hyperbole. Not even hyperbole. Anybody who has Jordan Mason, league winner, because it's a guy you drafted very late or got off waiver wire. So yes, there's no way Jordan Mason should be available on any waiver wire going into week 2.
Yeah, no matter how deep, shallow, whatever the format, I mean, you got to have him. Obviously, he isn't Christian McCaffrey, but any running back in that offense is valuable. Here's the thing is it's just him because if CMC is out, again, Mitchell on IR, Garendo is not even sniffing the field. He's like a special teamer, barely even made the squad only because Mitchell was hurt. There's nobody else there. There's nobody else like a veteran, like a reliable. This is not going to be some sort of a timeshare. Who was the backup running back last night? It was Deebo Samuel, right? We're going to see Deebo. If anything, Deebo also does benefit from this. We've seen this before. But yeah, I agree. Mason, I mean, there's no question. So, I mean, if you're going to ask guys, you're going to ask questions like, do I pick up Jordan Mason? Yes. Just pick up Jordan Mason. Don't drop like Derrick Henry for him, but, there's got to be somebody you can drop. Anyways. That was interesting last night. Also, always fun when at the very end of Monday night, you have a guy like Alan Lazard, who is owned in 0% of leagues, all of a sudden coming out our own. Now, is this a guy you feel is a strong ad because the Aaron Rodgers connection we've seen in Green Bay, or is this a trap?
Probably somewhere in between. I'm not going to say a strong ad. I mean, what are we realistically expecting from Alan Lazard on a week-to-week basis? Like, sure, he could always score. He's one of those guys that I feel like if you need him in the flex, like you're like, okay, I have injuries or bye weeks and I need him. Okay, he's got a chance to score. He'll be somewhat involved, but he's not a guy that I feel like I'm going to have in my lineup every single week. So, yeah, he's a good ad. I wouldn't say a strong ad.
Right. He is addable, but I'm not going crazy for him. Like, I know he's not going to go off every single week. And also, even though maybe I'm overly optimistic here, a guy like Tyler Conklin at tight end did nothing. I think he caught one pass, like 6 yards. But he ran a lot of routes. He was out there. You've got to, at some point, diversify. There will, at some point, be another receiver involved. I think it might be him. But anyways, don't overreact too much to week one if you can at all possibly do that. But you should also kind of react to injury reports because they matter. So let's talk about Thursday before we get on to the week 2 questions. You got Devon Achane. You got Raheem Mostert, who, by the way, now we know why Raheem Mostert didn't really see the field that much. Apparently, both these guys were banged up, have not practiced today, didn't practice, which matters because, again, in 2 days, they're supposed to be playing against Buffalo. How strong, if I could use the word strong, and an ad is Jeff Wilson.
I mean, Jeff Wilson feels like a trap. I feel like we've been here before, and then Jeff Wilson traps us. I mean, I guess if they're both out, like let's say you have Achane and maybe you have a halfway decent RB2, but your RB3 and worse is like just handcuffs, then sure, maybe go grab Jeff Wilson and roll him out this week in place of Achane. Or same thing if like Mostert is your only decent RB2, sure, go grab Jeff Wilson. But I just feel like we've been here before, and really, what are we going to get from Jeff Wilson? And you got to think, it's funny because in the Discord, I was saying, like, maybe Jalen Wright is this year's Achane. If you remember back to last year, Achane was a healthy scratch, and everybody was freaking out. They're like, oh my gosh, I drafted this guy, and he's a healthy scratch, and everybody's like dropped in like half of the fantasy leagues. And then the next week he played and went off. Maybe Jalen Wright's going to be that guy this year.
Exactly. And look, Wilson will be the main back because it's early in the season. The rookie's not going to get that much run unless he has to get some. He'll still probably take a backseat to Jeff Wilson in terms of touches this week. Again, I'm assuming this is assuming both Achane and Mostert are out, which is possible. But he's better. He's faster. He's going to be eventually better than Jeff Wilson. He was drafted for a reason. So I think Wilson might be a nice stopgap replacement if you need somebody to take over for Achane in the backfield, which I really hope you had an RB3, RB4 that was good enough to start, that you don't have to pick up and start Jeff Wilson, but maybe you don't, right? So
yeah,
you might not. I mean, like maybe like Tyjae Spears was your RB3. How good do you feel about him now? Jalen Warren, guys like that. So it always depends. So that's why we're here. We're going to help answer those questions, let you know who we think is worth adding, and of course, who isn't. And we'll help you with start, sit, trade questions, whatever you got, throw it at us. We'll help you. Do have some super chats already lined up, so you know how this goes. If you've been here before, if you super chat, yes, we will do those first. We'll get them in order, and we'll try to answer as many of the other chats as possible. But if you want to absolutely guarantee that your question gets answered right now while we're live tonight, then that's the best way to do it. You could also use this really cool app that we have. But before we get to that, let me also tell you that you should also be considering Underdog. If you haven't already, you know we partner with Underdog. And if you didn't know, let me tell you, we partner with Underdog. And if you sign up for the very first time on Underdog, you can use, along with a free pick for Thursday, which I'll talk about in a second, you get this no sweat token. And in fact, this is just one of their typical promotions. Everybody gets this, right? Even if you already signed up for Underdog, you can also take advantage of this no sweat token, which exactly what it sounds like. You get money back to your account. It's basically like insurance for your pick if it doesn't hit. So no sweat token. Go ahead and use it now. If you are brand new to Underdog and you sign up for the very first time, you get this free pick for Thursday night. Josh Allen getting 1 yard. If you were new and you signed up, you tried it last night, guess what? Aaron Rodgers came through for you. He did it. He got us a yard this year. And we'll get to that also in a second. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers and yards, if you were on last night's stream, you're probably very curious. But if you're new to Underdog, you want to try it out for the first time, just use code ENDGAME, and that gets you that free pick of Josh Allen, gets you that 50% deposit match up to $1,000 in bonus cash. And again, there's always something new and cool. If you don't get it done by Thursday, don't worry. They're going to have another new customer special before Sunday. But also want to talk about that app I mentioned for start sit questions, trade questions, waiver wire questions, any questions you got. It's called Draft Lane. So if you go to draftlane.com, you'll see this site, explain all the features for you, and you can find out more. You can also go directly to download it because it's completely free. Download Draft Lane right now, App Store or Google Play Store, and then you can see what it's all about. Already had a lot just today. A lot of people utilizing it. It's super quick, easy way to get your questions answered by us without having to wait for a live stream, right? Do you want to skip the line? Well, here you go. You can ask right now at any time of the day. I can't promise that we'll be up at 4 a.m. to answer it, but you can ask it at any time you want, and we'll get to it as soon as possible. All your questions. So again, check out Draft Lane if you haven't already. It's pretty cool. Before we get to the questions, though, shall we talk about Aaron Rodgers and yardage last night?
Yep. Okay. Let's do it.
So time-stamped it just to make sure because, people like receipts. There it is. Look, that's us. This is not live. We're not frozen. This is last night. All right. So we asked you how many passing yards did Aaron Rodgers get? What was his total passing yards going to be? And the winner was going to get a free Fantasy Endgame t-shirt courtesy of Bear Clothing. And the winner was Zunex, if I'm saying that right. See at the very bottom of the screen there, second from the bottom, Xunex. Zunex guessed 169. Aaron Rodgers had 167. So you are the winner. If you're on the stream, Zunex, let us know, hit us up, or if you watch this later, either way, just send an email. Chris, you can email you at your Endgame account. Is that right?
Yes. Email me at Chris at fantasyfootballendgame.com and just include some kind of proof. Not that we don't trust all you guys. I'm sure you're all very trustworthy and would never try to get a free t-shirt, but some kind of proof, like a screenshot of your YouTube account or something. Like you don't have to, not your password or anything personal of the, don't send me any personal info, but just a screenshot. Like, look, here it is. I'm logged in and it's my account. You can see that. And just include your address, of course, your shipping address and your size. And if you have a preference on color, I think it's like what? Blue, black, red, white. Is there a white? Pretty basic color.
Oh yeah, there's a white. I got a white one. Yeah, in fact, I want to try before we get to it. See if we can pull it up just real quick. Also to give a quick out to Corey and Bear Clothing. Can I pull this one up real quick? The screen share.
Yeah, should be able to.
There it is. All right. So go to Bear Clothing. It's just real simple, bearclothing.org. And there is our lovely page. And you can see, of course, if you click on it and go to all the colors, get that foam trucker hat if you like. You've got sweatshirts, hoodies, and then
I definitely am going to have to get a hoodie for the winter here for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely not hoodie season here yet. I know that it was almost 90, but you'll get there. Look at that.
There you go. There's all the colors for you.
All right. So anyways, it's Bear Clothing. So shout out to Corey, of course, rocking the Bear Clothing as usual. There it is. All right. Just wanted to share that. But now it's time for questions. Your questions. That's what you're here for. We're going to answer them. So Zunex, just give us a shout. And if you want a shirt, maybe you didn't win this giveaway, still get one over there. Go to her bearclothing.org. Cap for life. What is up? Speaking of fashion, fins up. Yeah, well, let's hope so. First question here, a couple hours ago. Let's get to this one. It's a trade question.
All right.
Traded CJ Stroud and Singletary for Josh Allen and Pittman. When the veto vultures come out, not asking whether it's a good trade, asking is it even going to work?
I don't think you have to ask if this is a good trade. Let's see. You got the better quarterback and you got the better player. I don't think there's any explanation needed here for whether this is a good trade or not. Will the veto vultures come out? We will see.
I'm going to say they should. I don't believe in vetoes at all, but let's hope not. That would be a nice deal for you. Boomer is on here. Boomer also
What's
a
up,
Dolphin
Boomer?
fan, not coincidentally. Somebody decided to drop Jordan Love. Okay. Desperately needs a quarterback because Daniels is shaky. Okay, so the question is here, who would you drop to get Jordan Love? I mean, I would definitely drop one of those guys. What,
Either Dowdle or Benson. Probably Dowdle. I mean, yeah, I think you can drop Dowdle. Even if he becomes a split, Zeke's gonna get the goal line work. So Dowdle's droppable. Benson, I mean, Benson's borderline droppable right now, but I do think we'll see him as the season goes on get more and more. So.
Right. Benson could still be a nice late season stash. You don't have to hold him, but yeah, I would drop Dowdle first. But what about this? He's saying Bucky and Tank both available. Would you drop Benson for one of those?
Yeah. I think I prefer Bucky because I feel like we're going to see Bucky as the lead back here. Maybe this week, honestly. I think Rachaad White will still have a role, and I think Rachaad White will still be the pass catching back for now because he's still very good in that role. I mean, honestly, for as bad as Rachaad White is as a runner, he's the opposite end of the spectrum, elite as a pass catcher. So, but Bucky could be like the guy getting the bulk of the carries. So I'm gonna prefer Bucky. So you could drop Dowdle for Love and Benson for Bucky.
Right. These guys seem close right now, but exactly. The coaching staff seems to really be in on Bucky Irving. So, I just feel a little less confident about White, his role compared to Etienne. All right. A couple more before we get super chats, we got a lot of our members. Guys got that YouTube membership. Of course, our guys here like Juice. Okay. Are you going Likely or Parkinson over Schultz? Are you keeping Schultz?
I'm probably going both these guys over Schultz. I think you gotta prefer Likely. I don't think, obviously, what we saw on last Thursday night is we're probably not going to see that ever again this year, unless Andrews gets hurt, and then we might see it. But I do think we're going to see more 2 tight end sets from the Ravens this year. I do think we're going to see Likely have a role in this offense. I also like Parkinson, especially for however long Puka is out. I wasn't really in on Schultz before the season. It's like, well, you got Nico, you got Dell, you got Diggs, you got, I guess, Mixon when you get okay, I don't know if we should count Mixon out of the backfield catching passes, but the point is, he's behind 3 good wide receivers. What's his role going to? It's going to be like either he scores a touchdown or you wish you didn't start him. That's going to be his role this year. So, yeah, I'd prefer either of these guys edge to Likely.
Yeah, I think you can drop Schultz. We're kind of fading him throughout draft season. He's still draftable, but again, what is his upside? I think you have to prefer Likely. I'll say there's one league where I did need a tight end, a David Njoku league. So I'm going to pick up, and I'm kind of hedging my bet. I did say, okay, let me put in a claim for Parkinson instead of Likely in this one, just to see what kind of role he carves out. So I'm kind of in on both. I think those are definitely your top 2, though.
Yep.
And yeah, either one over Schultz right now. And then Frosif needs a potential pivot from Cousins. Well, are you worried about Cousins this coming week or no? I mean, these are the options. Do you just stay with Cousins?
I mean, Yeah, none of these guys excite me. I mean, I know Carr's coming off a big game, but now he's going on the road in Dallas. Gino, I think on the road in New England, if I'm not mistaken. Darnold at home, but it's the 49ers. I mean, Herbert gets the Panthers, so I like, if you're worried that Cousins, I know there's a lot of stuff going around right now. People like putting out the all 22 showing like, look, Cousins, he can't drive off his back foot. He's not driving off his back foot because of the Achilles, which is funny because it's like, I don't know, Dobbins seemed to be able to drive off his Achilles foot okay in week 1. But Herbert's probably the one, even though I don't like Herbert, but at least it's the Panthers. I don't think Herbert will kill you. Like, these other guys could kill you. Like, you could start Derek Carr and be like, oh, what have I done? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think here I'll just, if you don't want to risk it with Cousins again, if you're like, nope, let me see this guy look serviceable first, go with Herbert for this week.
Yeah, he's the only one I consider. If it's me, I'm sticking with Cousins because, sure, I'm not sold necessarily that he's 100%, but I think he will be better in week 2. And look, they're going to have to throw the ball a lot more. It's Philly, right? They're playing at Philly. They're going to need to throw it. So just by sheer volume, it's not going to be the same type of game as last week, right? This kind of slog where Pittsburgh just ran the ball and has this tough defense. So I'm stick with upside of Cousins, but if you're really that worried, it's Herbert. But again, I feel like it's more floor than ceiling. All right, Abimanu, what is up? Who are we rolling out at defense here? Seahawks, like you said, against those Patriots. The Chargers against those Panthers. The Colts, a very popular pickup this week, or the Jags.
I think I'm gonna cross off the Jags, even though the Jags might have the best defense of all these. Like, they're at least playing an offense that could do something. Like, I'm not worried about the Panthers lighting up the Chargers. I'm not worried about the Malik Willis-led Packers lighting up the Colts. And then the Seahawks, yeah, I'm not worried about the Jacoby Brissett-led Patriots doing anything to the Seahawks. So I think it's very close between the Colts and Chargers. I mean, I don't know, flip a coin. Maybe Colts. If it's Ryan Tannehill or somebody who's at least like, okay, maybe he'll just be a game manager, then I might go Chargers. But if it really is Malik Willis starting for the Packers, I'm going Colts.
Yeah, Colts, again, is going to be probably the most added defense here going against Malik Willis. I agree with Jags. I think they are a pretty good defense. But again, the Browns, I don't think will be as bad on offense. I know we just assume what happened in week 1 is exactly what's going to happen every week the rest of the season. I think the Browns might actually score points at some point. I think the Chargers defense is just kind of, they're just okay, right? I don't think the Chargers have a great defense. Same thing with the Seahawks. Colts probably just make the most sense here. My only concern, if you want to call it that, is that the Packers just run the ball 50 times and don't even try to throw the ball, right? There's just such a conservative game plan that there's no potential for the Colts to get sacks, to get interceptions, you know? But Colts are clearly the safest of these choices. If you want potential for turnovers and big plays, I guess you can go Chargers. Colts just make the most sense.
Hold on real quick. I just saw this question come in. It's a very easy one. We got to answer it real quick. So somebody in James's Dynasty League dropped Jonathan Brooks
in Dynasty.
Pick up a QB after Jordan Love went down. He's got 100 fab. My question is, can you trade somebody for $1 of fab?
Yeah.
So you can bid 101 and guarantee you get, drop all of it on Jonathan Brooks, every single penny.
Wow. In Dynasty.
Yeah.
Wow. All of it, yes. And that's, you know what? That's not a bad idea. You could trade, I don't know, a 3rd round pick, 4th round pick, a bench player for $1. If you can do that, do it.
Yeah, trade somebody that, like, some wide receiver who's been around the league, like Tyler Johnson of the Rams. If you happen to have him on your bench, trade him for $1 to somebody who thinks like, oh, Puka's out.
Yeah. Wow. It just goes to all sorts of things. I mean, somebody dropped Jordan Love in a redraft league. I mean, he's not done. He's coming back in a couple of weeks. So,
but that I kind of get, like, maybe because a lot of people in redraft leagues, they draft like Josh Allen and Jordan Love. Well, so it's like, okay, I mean, I got an injured Jordan Love. I got Josh Allen. Just drop him. I don't need Jordan Love. Okay, I get that. I get that in redraft. But like, okay, you lost Jordan Love in Dynasty, but you're dropping Jonathan Brooks to pick up. I mean, what quarterback is even out there in your Dynasty league that you're like, this guy's going to save me?
Yeah. God, I hope it wasn't Malik Willis. Sam Darnold. Oh, man. All right. Yeah, do it. James, you do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, James. Go get Jonathan Brooks in Dynasty for sure.
All right. Let's get to the other John. That wasn't John, but other John. All right. Look, I talked to Baker Mayfield. He's a great streamer. Great start this week. Not over Anthony Richardson.
No, not over Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson, one of those guys just always in my lineup. I mean, for as good as Mayfield was last week, that's more than likely the best game he's going to have all year because they don't get to play the Commanders again. So Anthony Richardson could give you maybe not multiple 4-touchdown games, but he could give you multiple like 80-yard rushing plus 2 touchdown games. So, yeah, Richardson.
You got to keep Richardson in there. You just got to. Now, I think if you asked, still like a rushing quarterback like a Jaden Daniels or Mayfield, that's a legit question. That's different. Right. But you got to start Richardson. Carl, what is up, Carl? Is it worth using the number 3 priority for Bigsby or save it for a tight ends? And would you drop Dowdle or is that Mike Williams? Or probably both.
Yeah, you can drop either of those guys. I mean, if you want to hold Mike Williams and hope eventually he comes back and he's healthy. But I mean, how many snaps did he even play last night? So
like 4.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a while till we see Mike Williams. You could probably drop him and no one's rushing out like, ooh, Mike Williams on the waiver. Let me go grab him. Bigsby for your 3rd waiver priority is probably okay. But if you need a tight end, like by need a tight end, you drafted David Njoku, and now you're worried you're not going to have David Njoku for multiple weeks, then you should probably prioritize the tight end because, I mean, is Tank Bigsby cracking your lineup, or is he just going to sit on your bench and you're going to like hope, he takes over the backfield or Etienne goes down or something. So if you need the tight end, meaning like, my tight end is hurt like David Njoku, then you can get the tight end.
Yeah, and especially if it's a situation, which I've seen in a lot of my leagues, you got Likely, strong ad, Parkinson, seems like a good ad, and then it's like the wasteland, it's like you're digging through like John Johnson scored a touchdown, maybe he'll do it again, or like Noah Fant, I remember he was good in college, and it's like that, you don't want to go there, so go with the starting player first. Yeah. All right, and then real quick before we get to super chats, because we are starting back up already. Anthony, just
what's up, Anthony?
Anthony and Aldo, saludos from Tijuana. All right,
what's up?
J876 wants to know week 2, Dell or Pittman at the flex.
I really like Dell this week. I think Dell's gonna have a big game. What was lost in that game, because everybody's just looking like, oh, Dell, like, oh yeah, he's clearly the number 3 wide receiver. Look at his stats. Dell had the same amount of targets as Nico Collins, only had 7 less air yards than Nico Collins, which by the way was almost 100 more air yards than Stephon Diggs. He just didn't connect. That's it. It didn't connect. Like if a couple of those passes connect, we're looking at this wide receiver room totally different today. So Dell this week, they're going against Bears. So the reason why I really like him, I mean, Bears, very good defense, no doubt about it. But Jalen Johnson probably going to spend most of the day on Nico Collins. Diggs looks like just the kind of like underneath, dig routes and stuff like that. I saw something where some guy looked like, oh, they called a couple vertical routes for him. Okay, but they didn't throw it to him, probably because he doesn't have that vertical game anymore. I think Dell could have a big game this week, so I'm gonna go with Dell this week and gamble on that upside.
Yeah, we're big on Dell. That one hasn't dropped yet, but there is a video coming out in the coming days that explains the thought process behind Tank Dell. Yeah, I'm not big, and in fact, this reminds me. Somebody did put a request on the Draft Lane app today asking him a start-sit question about Michael Pittman, and I said to bench Pittman. I mean, his other option was really good, but still, I'm not sold on Pittman this week. So normally, I think it will be Pittman, but this week, I think it is Dell. And then JD or Kyler Murray.
Got to go Kyler Murray here. I know Jaden Daniels like almost, I shouldn't say almost doubled, but had a way bigger game than Kyler Murray last week. But again, Kyler Murray is just the guy I'm starting every single week. We've seen Kyler Murray in the NFL over an extended period of time. I'm not worried about Kyler Murray. Hopefully this week he will actually see Marvin Harrison when he's wide open for a game-winning touchdown, or I guess it wasn't game-winning. Maybe it was game-tying touchdown or whatever it was. So give me Kyler.
Yep. Give me Kyler too. I mean, he's pretty much locked into you start him and you don't really worry about the matchup and all that. You got to go Kyler here. Before we get to the next super chat, also, another one of our guys from last season is finally back. Big Luscious is in the house.
What's up?
Here we are. Week one is in the books.
Gosh.
All right. The band kicker shirt is not on today. It was on yesterday, but come on. Are we really still doing this? Kickers? Yes.
If there was ever like how so if you're in a league that plays kickers, one person in your league is like, yes, I love kickers. Everybody else is like, this is dumb. Like a kicker should not be one of the highest scorers. I mean, you look at the entire slate. Jake Moody is currently, where is he? He's right there with Isaiah Likely and Anthony Richardson as a top 10 scorer this week. That's absurd. That should not happen.
It's just wrong. It's wrong. I mean, look, I got it. Used to playing with kickers for years and don't do it anymore. Can I just? I'm sorry. I swear we'll catch up to super chats. Let me just get this off my chest first. There's a league where I play with kickers. It's called the Fish Bowl. You guys probably heard of it, the Scott Fish Bowl, and the scoring is so bizarre. But also, not only does it use kickers, the kickers get bonus. Like there's a tight end premium, there's a kicker premium. So week one, just watch. I have to share this. Sorry, I have to share this. Week one, I was up by a few points going into Monday night. You already see where this is going. And my opponent just had Jake Moody left. So look what happens here. This is how ridiculous it is. Not only did Jake Moody go off, if you can see that, do you see here, there's Cooper Kupp, how many points he scored in that format? 35. Jake Moody scored 31. Jake Moody was almost as valuable as Cooper Kupp last week. So I was up like almost by 10, and I lost by 20 because of a kicker. That is wrong, my friends. Just not right.
All
right. But anyways, enough about kickers. But what's up, Big Delicious? Glad you're back. Joey Ford. Tight end Akins? That's not Jordan Akins. Does he still
I was going to say Jordan Akins?
Is he like on Cleveland's? If he is, I'm not aware. Mike Gesicki or Schoonmaker? I mean, we're getting deep here.
Yeah, maybe he's on Cleveland. He is. He's on Cleveland. Okay, so I guess he's going to fill the David Njoku role. I'm going to go Gesicki. Yeah, I'm going to go Gesicki. Look, Gesicki should have had a touchdown last week. He scored. He just couldn't keep hold of the ball while he fell to the ground, which that's why he's Mike Gesicki. But maybe this week he holds on to it. Give me Gesicki.
Yeah, now Schoonmaker's interesting because he was a high draft pick. He's in that Dallas offense. But I'll go with the guy at least I know has done something before. And if T. Higgins is out, which he probably will be, yeah, Gesicki. Carl has another question. Ooh, this is a very good question for everyone who does have Mason without CMC. Are you going to be generous and offer Jordan Mason to the CMC owner, or are you just going to keep him for yourself?
Oh, I'm going to be generous, and I'm going to say, how about Nico Collins? How about Mike Evans? How badly do you need Jordan Mason over there? How badly you need Jordan Mason? So if you consider that generous, then I guess I'm being generous. Because look, here's the thing. Like, okay, you trade Jordan Mason to the CMC owner. You didn't really help the CMC owner. You just made it so that, okay, he can breathe a sigh of relief where if like CMC's out again or CMC misses more time, he can plug Jordan Mason in. But you didn't make his team any better. Maybe his team doesn't get significantly worse now, but it doesn't get better. But if you can fleece him, like if he's like, I don't care, I'll give you Nico Collins for Jordan Mason because I need that backup, your team gets a lot better. So yes, trade him, but don't be nice about it. I mean, be nice about it. Don't be mean, of course, but you know what I mean. Shoot for the stars.
There you go. It's just negotiating. Look, like I said, we talked about this a little bit, I think last night. Everybody's an adult, probably, unless you're whoever it was trying to beat his 13-year-old son in fantasy. But look, unless it's like a friend or relative or like a first time ever fantasy player, it's just somebody you compete with. Just do what you can, get what you can. All right. Brian, what's up, Brian? Don't throw up. He's the Jordan Love owner. It's super flex. Are we going Jacoby, not the fastest in the league? Brissett in the league is fast, but questionable as a passer. Or do you just forget quarterback and go with a guy like Deontay Wilson or Javonte?
I mean, I would be fine for getting quarterback, but these are your choices. Oh man, why couldn't the Panthers have at least like shown some signs that
I know,
like, oh, okay, maybe we're gonna see a better. I mean, they look just as bad as last year. Oh man.
Deontay.
I mean, maybe I gamble on Malik Willis and hope he runs in a touchdown. I mean, can Brissett throw a touchdown? I don't even know. I'd probably gamble on Malik Willis and hope he runs in a touchdown because, I mean, really, or maybe just gamble on Deontay bouncing back this week. It is PPR. Maybe Deontay, honestly.
Yeah, I think I would at least, like you said, for that rushing upside, go Malik over Brissett. Look, he's got good receivers. Dump off, a screen, a deep shot. He could throw a touchdown. I mean,
shovel pass to Josh Jacobs at the goal line.
Look, bootleg. He can run. Maybe he does get some rushing upside. So I would go Malik. Deontay should be startable. Right now, give me the quarterback. So let's go Malik. Max Leitner, any moves here? 12-team PPR, 2 receiver, 2 running back, and a flex. Got Kyler, Bijan, Javonte, Mostert, Mason. Ugh. Nice. Hill and Chubb on IR. Okay. Nico Cup, London, Thomas, Dobbs, Polk, and then McBride.
I mean, I think at this point you can drop Polk.
Yeah.
Go, I think your team needs running back help. So I'd be looking at guys like Dobbins, Bucky Irving, Tank Bigsby, fine, but I don't think Tank Bigsby's helping your team this week. Obviously, if CMC doesn't play, you're just going to roll with Bijan and Mason and probably crush your opponent, so it won't matter. But if CMC plays, you might need somebody, especially if Mostert is out. So, yeah, I would drop Polk. Look for Dobbins, probably number 1. Bucky Irving, number 2. Tank Bigsby, number 3, if those guys are gone or get snatched before you can get them.
Yeah, I'm going to drop Polk. No reason to hold him. The dogs don't like it. You're pretty good. I mean, Dobbs is not a must-hold in a 12-teamer either. Depends who else is out there, though. But yeah, try to get some running back. It's nice you have Mason, though. Python did grab Mason. Very nice. As soon as news broke.
Good. Smart.
Eyes also.
Good. Hold him. Hold him or try to trade him to the CMC version of CMC, but fleece him. Fleece him. Hey,
and I love
all the dogs barking right now. What is going on? Is there about to be like, is this it? Like something about to happen? Like the whole world's gonna like a worldwide earthquake? What's going on?
They're coming. I love that they can communicate via Zoom. I love seeing a lot of our guys on here already have Mason. Like I already stashed him, I already drafted him, I already picked him up right away before everyone else could. That's good to see. Now, what do you think about this turtleneck sweater? Everyone's favorite. If CMC plays, does Mason have standalone value?
No.
I mean, you think if CMC is playing, he's playing for real, not like going out there as a decoy.
Exactly, because it doesn't make sense. The 49ers are not playing for week 1 or week 2 or week 3. They're playing for week 18, 19, 20, 21, right? There's no reason to put CMC out there. If you're like, yeah, we're gonna play him like 50% of the snaps. Like, why even put him out there? Just let him get fully healthy. You don't need him this time of year. You're 1-0. You really don't need him now. So yeah, if CMC is out there, that means they're confident he's healthy, and that means Jordan Mason he'll get some touches, of course, but it won't be enough for him to be startable in fantasy.
Right. It's not a team that mixes and matches necessarily. I mean, there'll be other guys who do run the ball and get some touches, but enough to be worth starting if CMC's out there. Nah. All right. And around the fur. Welcome back. Yep. It is. Look, every week's going to be crazy in its own way, pretty much.
You know what always happens after a week like this week, all those busts are going to go off. And then all of a sudden everybody's going to be like, oh, is so-and-so like a no doubt must start now? Like now is this guy like, do we have to just start him every week now?
I just can't wait. And some of the teams that looked horrible and lost last week are going to pull out victories, and then you're going to be massively confused. Just wait. Yep. It always happens. Yep. All right. CPS or CPs. PS. Would you trade? This is a big one. Etienne, Olave, Chubb for Moss. Oh, and Moss. Okay, this is a 4 for 2. Etienne, Olave, Chubb, and Moss for Saquon and Najee.
All right, so this trade, in my opinion, is really just Etienne and Olave for Saquon and Najee. I mean, Moss, okay, he scored. What do you have, like 40 yards? He got you like 10 points with a touchdown or something? Like, okay. Chubb, I mean, we don't even know when we're going to see Chubb. And then when we do see Chubb, how much Chubb are we even going to see? And then how effective is that Chubb even going to be? So, to me, this is Etienne and Olave for Saquon and Najee. I think you have to prefer Saquon to Olave right now. I think I probably still have to prefer Etienne to Najee. Although another week of, like, here's the thing. So we still saw Etienne get the goal line work, and we still saw Etienne get the pass catching work. If we start seeing Tank get goal line work and pass catching work, then it's full-fledged, like, run for the hills if you got Etienne, because it's not going to be pretty. So, but I think right now I got to give the edge to Etienne over Najee, of course. But man, Saquon looked so good. Like Saquon could legit be like a top. I know it's just week 1. You don't want to but it wasn't just like the fantasy points. It was the pass catching, the juice. He looked like rookie Saquon, right? He looked like rookie Saquon, like he had a jetpack on or something. So I think I'm going to gamble on the Saquon Najee side and hope Saquon does this all year and is a league winner.
Yeah, I just give me Saquon here. Chubb and Moss, you can just pretty much ignore those guys. Etienne, not like Etienne's worthless after week one. Olave is not a bust because of week one. But yeah, give me the guy who was a first round pick in a lot of leagues, second round pick, the elite running back. Just give me the Saquon side here. All right. What about Johnny Pina? Trade Chase Brown straight up to buy low on Jordan Addison or pick up Lockett.
I mean, I don't know if you're buying low on Jordan Addison, but sure. Like, yeah, you know, I'll prefer Jordan Addison to Chase Brown. Sure.
Right. I'm not actively seeking Jordan Addison. I get it. He's got upside. I mean, I would take him over Chase Brown though. So yeah, sure, you can do that. And it is maybe that deal doesn't get done, or regardless, you pick up Lockett.
I get. I mean, if you look, you got a spot on your bench, you're burning the hole, and you're great at running back and need wide receiver help. Sure, I guess.
All right, Surge traded CMC, JSN, Jordan Mason for Jahmyr Gibbs, DK Metcalf, Lad McConkey. Screw up.
I don't think so. I mean, look, CMC is hurt, and so really, you just basically what you traded is CMC or CMC light and JSN, right? Because that's the thing. It's not like you gave up. Like, if CMC is playing, Jordan Mason isn't, and if CMC is not playing, Jordan Mason is. Like, so okay, you gave up whatever that
one
little
player,
combo,
one running back.
Yeah, basically one running back and a wide receiver who, sadly, still somehow not ahead of Tyler Lockett. And you got a running back who was fantastic in week one and a wide receiver who will, don't worry, DK Metcalf is going to be better. He got Patrick Surtain in week one. And look, McConkey could still come around. So, no, I don't think you messed up at all.
This is an interesting trade. I mean, really, it's going to come down to which Seattle receiver turns out to be better. You think it's still going to be DK Metcalf. So I think this is almost a pretty even swap here. I think it's fine. No, you definitely didn't screw up, though. I'll tell you that. If nothing else, if you traded away the CMC Mason side, at least you got rid of the headache of worrying about CMC and wondering about Jordan Mason. I mean, there's that. All right, Joe Castles, what is up, Joe? All right. Yeah, and actually he asked us earlier. Okay, so if you're the CMC manager or owner, what do you do?
Well, you're holding CMC unless you could trade them. You know, like somebody's willing to give you they're like, oh, Amon-Ra St. Brown is a bust. I'll give you Amon-Ra St. Brown, and maybe like a throw in or something, but you're probably holding them. And especially if you have Jordan Mason, there's no reason not to hold CMC, right? Because now you're good either way. Is that what is that what he's asking here? He's got CMC and Jordan Mason.
Yeah, I think. Well, I know he had CMC, so he asked. I don't think he'll mind. I'd say he'd asked me earlier if I have CMC, should I trade him to get a guy like Pat Mahomes, an elite quarterback, because I don't have a quarterback. And I was like, no, I would hold CMC for now. It's not like he's out for the season. No. And I said pretty much that. You don't have to be looking to deal CMC just because you have him. And if you don't have Jordan Mason, that I get it, that makes you a lot more panicked. But you might still be selling low, and you might regret doing this not even halfway through the season. What if he's back in 2 weeks and he's CMC? So pretty much holding. But I said if you can get a haul for him,
right?
I wouldn't say no, but that's the case with any player.
Right.
All right. Let's do a couple of these. We're catching up the super chats, guys. Super chat in the last half hour. We'll get to it. So let's do a couple of regular chats first. Let's save Johnny for making a mistake. Johnny Camarena, would you drop Mark Andrews for Likely?
No. There's got to be if you want to add Isaiah Likely because you got Mark Andrews and you're worried, sure. There's got to be somebody else you can drop other than Mark Andrews.
Yeah, just don't drop Mark Andrews. Period. All right. Wolfman, a very interesting one. Would you trade Puka, Chubb, and Pickens for Cup? So I told you it's an interesting one, huh? You have to think about it because I know you're ignoring Chubb here, right? Forget Chubb, but Puka, he's going to be out 4 games. We know this. But if he's good when he comes back, what I've read from the Twitter doctors I follow is that he should be pretty close to full strength after that, if he heals well.
Exactly. So the worry here is like you go get Cup, and Cup's a monster for the next 4, 5, 6 weeks, whatever it is. And then Puka comes back and he's just good for the rest of the season. And then, you know what I mean? So I probably just hold Puka and Pickens, honestly.
Yeah, I'm big enough on Pickens that I don't want to do this. And again, I'm not giving up on Puka. Again, he's not out for the season, so probably not. All right, and let's put Mario up just because that's so nice. Of course, that's what we're here for. We're here to help you guys set your lineups, answer your question.
I don't even think I can take any credit for any wins this week. If you won this week, it's just because you happen to have the few good players this week. So congrats.
Well, yeah. Oh, look, we definitely didn't get everything
actually,
right.
It's funny. I looked at my endgame PPR league, where I actually won in that league. I scored 111 points in a 3 wide receiver, 1 flex PPR league, and I had the 3rd most points in the league with 111 points in a PPR league. The top 2 teams had 150 each because they obviously had all the players who actually did something in week 1. So yeah, weird week.
Yeah, week 1 is always catches us the most by surprise, right? Because we don't know what's happened, what's going to happen. But all right, Arvin Angelus got a few questions. All right, Jaden Daniels or Hurts?
Gotta go Hurts.
If it's any player that plays the quarterback position or Jalen Hurts, the answer is going to be Jalen Hurts. All right, should I worry about Drake London?
I mean, you gotta be a little worried, of course, but he should bounce back. I mean, really, it comes down to Kirk Cousins bouncing back, right? Kirk Cousins has to bounce back.
Right. And then, I mean, yeah, you should be a little worried, but not panicked too much yet. And then should I trade DeAndre Swift?
What are you going to really get? Who's out there going ooh, DeAndre Swift?
Yeah. Not right now. I mean,
yeah, just hold.
Just hold for now. All right. And then Jay Soisi, 18 PPR, 1 flex. You trading Waddle and Devontae Smith for Chase and Najee.
No. Waddle and Devonta Smith, too good. Okay, sure, Chase, you probably are getting the upgrade. I think. I don't even know what to make of this Bengals. I don't even know what to make of the Bengals anymore. But Devonta or Waddle is just such a massive upgrade over Najee Harris that it's not worth the whatever potential downgrade you're getting from Chase to, say, Waddle, which I don't even think is going to be that big unless Joe Burrow and this offense somehow figures something out. So give me the Waddle Devonta side.
Definitely give me the Waddle Devontae side. Look, this is an 8-teamer. Is Najee ever starting for you in an 8-teamer? I mean, unless you're really down bad at running back, and if so, Najee's not going to save you anyways. So,
right.
Alexis Aguilar, welcome back, Alexis. Williams, one of the Williams.
Caleb.
Okay, Wilson. Yeah, we need some first names here. Williams, Wilson, Cup, Barkley, Walker, Dalton, Smith, kicker and defense. Who cares? All right, very right. Do I make space for Brian Robinson with a nice matchup, or is my team too stacked?
Well, I mean, yeah, you really don't have anybody. I mean, I don't know what your bench looks like. I assume you have a bench. Maybe you guys don't. Maybe your league just runs starting lineups only. That'd be interesting, right? Just starting lineup only leagues. That'd be something. But But you can't drop any of those guys. I mean, you could drop Caleb Williams for a different quarterback if you wanted to, but I mean, if you drop Caleb Williams for Brian Robinson, you don't have a quarterback now. So I don't know who's on your bench, but none of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, you got Barkley, Walker, Robinson's probably never getting to start over them. It's always nice to have a good running back, though. But you're asking, do you make space? You're saying he's on waivers. If he's on waivers, obviously you don't need to make too many moves here. I think you're okay right now. I mean, again, it depends who you do have on your bench. Stephon Barr. Got Lamar, CMC, Najee, Evans, Kupp, Andrews, Kirk on the bench. Caleb Williams, Moss, Myers, Palmer, Shakir, Watson. All right. Obviously, this is a CMC owner without Mason. So what do we do to upgrade at running back? And what should I make? What trade should I make to get Mason?
I'll just say right now, the only guys I'm trading to get Mason is like somebody on your bench. Because again, if CMC comes back, even if CMC's out like 2 more weeks, let's say. Week 4, now you get CMC back. Jordan Mason just goes to your bench, right? Jordan Mason just goes to your bench. So I'll trade like Jacoby Myers, Josh Palmer, Khalil Shakir. Maybe people are interested in him. Moss did score. Maybe people are excited about Zach Moss on the Bengals. I'll trade one of those guys for Mason, but that's probably it. Like, don't give up one of your starters for Mason.
Yeah. No. I even wonder if that's enough. Somebody who has Mason is probably like, that's it. I can get Saquon Barkley. It's like, so don't overpay. Nah. I mean, If they want to do 2 for 1, 2 of those bench players, sure. Shakir is a good time to sell him. Moss, look, I would even go Shakir and Moss because who cares, right? But that's it. Earth Eater, which again, that avatar is super cute. Totally does not match the name. No. Flex, Harrison, Tank, or Worthy. Wow.
I like Harrison too this week. I know he no-showed week 1, but I got to think, especially when they watch film and it's like, Kyler, do you see this play here where you were like in the pocket for 6 seconds and Marvin Harrison is running completely uncovered for a touchdown and you never threw the football? Do you see this, Kyler? Like, are you seeing this? I got to think they're going to make an effort to get Harrison the ball. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if like the first play of the game is a pass to Harrison, right? Just right away, throw it to Harrison. Get him involved. That being said, I really like Tank this week. I'm big on Tank. I think if it's me, I'm going Tank.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd be here at all, but it's like, do we need to see it first from Harrison? Not from him personally, but like just see that he's involved. They're going to get him involved. Maybe I'm liking Tank too. And then Waddle or DK, both not really good matchups this week.
No, but I got to go Waddle. Waddle's just got that, right? One play, and you're like, okay, I'm glad I started Waddle.
Right.
And DK doesn't have a great matchup either this week.
Yeah, neither have good matchups, but we know Waddle is going to get those deep shots, those targets. DK didn't really get targeted enough, but also, look, if HN and or Mostert are out, they're going to need to throw the ball a lot more. So it's Waddle this week. Quickie here to Arvin again. Thoughts on JMO? Sell high or keep?
Well, I'll say what I always say. If you can actually sell high, meaning you're getting a player who is valued significantly higher than Jameson Williams and like still has the potential to be significantly better than Jameson Williams. So don't go like, well, in the draft season, like, I don't know, Romo Dunze was being drafted ahead of Jameson Williams. So he's, that's that's not what I mean by sell high. I mean, like somebody that we know will probably be good to very good this year. Then yes, sell high. But at the same time, you have to actually this isn't Alec Pierce catching 2 huge passes. This isn't Rashid Shaheed catching one random huge touchdown. This isn't Ashton Doolin catching one random huge touchdown. This guy got 9 targets. He led the team in targets. I think he led the team in first read percentage. Like this is not a fluke. I mean, look, he might not have this kind of game the rest of the season, like this big of a game, but I think he's going to be a part of this offense. He is. So,
oh yeah,
if you can definitely sell high, but if not, just keep him.
Yeah, in general, I want to say keep because I think it's legit. But of course, if you can get a stud, depends. Like I'm thinking a nice buy low candidate, maybe Tank Dell. You get Tank Dell for JMO, you do it. It's close.
Probably. It's close. Yeah, I think it's close. Because again, like I don't feel like this isn't like if somebody was like, do I sell high on Alec Pierce? Yeah, you sell high on Alec Pierce. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Yeah.
Khalil Shakir. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
I'll sell.
You sell high. Exactly. I do believe in Jameson this year. So I mean I really like Tank too. So yeah, I could probably do that.
Gotcha. All right. Gilbert Paul. Got Puka on IR. Pick up Demarcus Robinson, Tyler Johnson, Brandon Cooks, or Khalil Shakir.
I
mean, I'll say of this bunch, not going Tyler Johnson because we both have D-Rob over him.
Yeah, I'm debating between Cooks and Robinson, and I think I'm slightly leaning Cooks. Because he's gonna be a part of that Dallas offense. We already saw it in week 1 to some degree. I mean, look, Demarcus Robinson for while Puka is out should be solid. But when Puka comes back, Demarcus Robinson goes back to being the wide receiver 3. Cooks is going to be probably the wide receiver 2 there all year. So I'm going to go Cooks.
I think it's between Robinson and Cooks. Robinson's guy tucked up on the waiver wire video. Cooks is not available in every league, but Cooks, I like Cooks. I mean, he was definitely drafted higher. Obviously, things are changed now in LA, but it's one of those two. I think for this week, for sure, maybe until we see what really shakes out with the Rams offense, because you never know. Sean McVay always has different intentions than we expect. I think for this week, you can go Cooks. He should have a big week. Miles Zile is back. What's up, Miles? Rank these guys. Mason, I'm going to guess he's first. Likely Wandale, Dortch, Lazard, Madison.
All right, I'm gonna rank it. I'm gonna rank it assuming you don't need a tight end. Like maybe you have a tight end maybe you have any tight end not named Kyle Pitts that you drafted and busted this week. Isn't that crazy? Sam Laporta, Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, Dalton Kincaid, Trey McBride, Evan Ingram, Jake Ferguson, David Njoku. All busted this week, except one. Kyle Pitts did not bust. Welcome to week 1, 2024. So I'm gonna rank this assuming you don't need tight end. So it would be Mason first. I think I'm gonna go Lazard second. Then I'll probably go Likely third because it's never a bad thing to have a tight end like Likely just in case your tight end gets hurt. I'll go Wandale fourth, Dortch fifth, Madison last.
Yeah, assuming we know nothing about your roster, which we don't, and team need, Mason has to be first. I'm going to stick. Well, actually, I'll put Dortch last for now because I don't think the upside is just not going to be there. I think I'm going to stick with Likely and then Wandale because I kind of like Wandale. And then Lazard, and then Madison, and then Dortch. All right, and also traded Waddle and Fields for Garrett Wilson. Is that W?
It should be. We'll see. You can't be super encouraged about Aaron Rodgers' first game, but like he hasn't played football in a year, so I'll cut him a little slack. It should be a win because Fields, I mean, really, like Is Fields winning this job all year? I don't know. So I think it'll end up being a win.
Yeah, I would do that. I would do that to get Garrett Wilson. I think that's a good one. All right, Tolu O dropped super chat. The question was much earlier. To hunt for it, here it is. In a super flex, Jordan Love. Hurt has Hollywood and Watson on the bench. Cooper at the flex. The league mate has Darnold, Deshaun Watson. You making a deal?
No, not for those guys. Not for those guys. If it's me, I'm just gonna gamble on Cooper. Or hey, look, Hollywood could be back this week. Gamble on Hollywood. I mean, Deshaun Watson, I'm done with that. I mean, Darnold, okay, he looked pretty good, but that was at home against the Giants. Or maybe it was on the road against the Giants, actually, but it doesn't matter. It was the Giants, doesn't matter. Got to play the 49ers this week. So let's say you trade Cooper for Darnold, or Hollywood for Darnold. And then this week he's terrible. And then, okay, maybe the next 2 weeks he's okay. And then Jordan Love comes back. And what did you get? You just got like an okay streamable QB2 for a couple of weeks? Like, nah. Just try to make it work with Hollywood and Cooper for the next 3-4 weeks until Love comes back.
Yeah, he dropped his entire roster here. I remember now. This is the team. He's got Brissett and May, kind of stashed there. You know what? It's okay. Just go with Brissett for a couple of weeks. This is absolutely the wrong time. If there's any player right now you probably don't want to trade for, I think it's Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, he might not even be starting much longer. He might not even be in an NFL uniform much longer. We'll see.
Right. All right. So there you go. Don't worry about it. Let's now go to Ethan Struby. What's up, Ethan? CMC out. Nice. Was able to grab Mason last minute. That's a good feeling. Dropped Corum. All right. I think that's okay. It was already up.
The ruthlessness.
Points. Hey, I'm all about running up the score. People are like, oh, do I bench him, just in case they get negative point? No, you run up the score. That's what I do. Bench Javonte Spears, Gus Hollywood, or Dunze. Hold Rome or waiver.
I'm holding Rome. It sounds like the injury's not too bad week to week. I still like his long-term potential.
Yeah, sure, he might not do much for a couple of weeks. Who knows? But it's very early. The jury is still out. let's hold him for now. So nice move to get Mason. Definitely hold him. So you're definitely glad you did that. I am definitely glad to see this name because it always brings a smile. The Libertarian Sasquatch in the house. All right. In full PPR, Dobbins or Brian Robinson Jr.?
Oh, here we go. Who knew this would be a question? By the way, little known fact about me: I love Sasquatch documentaries. I love watching. I don't know. I know going into it, like they're never gonna find Bigfoot. But I something about it. I just love like the exploration. Like, maybe they found a print. Like I don't know why. I love that stuff. When I was a kid, okay, I don't know why I'm like talking about this. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a Loch Ness monster researcher. That was one of my dreams, was to research the Loch Ness monster. Anyways, maybe it goes back to my love for horror. I don't know. Anyways, Libertarian Sasquatch is like too much information. Just answer my question, please. I'm still going Brian Robinson Jr. this week because he looked good last week, and they have a great matchup this week against the Giants. I mean, Dobbins, yeah, he's got a great matchup too against the Panthers, but I'm still like Dobbins. Like, if you're in a situation where your running back room is terrible, go ahead, roll with Dobbins. But I think I'm going to favor Brian Robinson Jr. over Dobbins this week.
I'm favoring Brian Robinson for sure. And it's not just about doubting or hating on Dobbins. Robinson's in a great spot. In fact, just go ahead and just let it out of the bag. He's going to be one of my boom picks. When you see the boom video this week, I'll, talk about that. Rihola, Train Titres. Bench one of these guys for Kirk or J.K. Dobbins.
Sorry, I'm laughing at one of the comments. It's like the stepbrother scene about the dad that wanted to be a dentist. That movie is so good. So dumb, but so funny. All right. Which one of the three? Man. I think I might bench Jerome Ford this week. I might risk it with Dobbins and Kirk and PPR. I mean, Ford had a nice game, but like he had to score in garbage time. This Browns offense, what another mess here, and it's not a good matchup for him this week. So I might go Dobbins and Kirk this week.
I'm keeping Kirk in there because, again, had a bad game. It happens. He's still a good receiver, still number one guy there. It's full PPR. I think you have to play Kirk here. Yeah, maybe Dobbins does it again. Not counting on it, but I guess until he breaks down, let's just roll with Dobbins, right? It's not a bad spot for him. It's the Panthers. He should be running plenty. So, yeah, go with Dobbins. And then we got Too Rich and Bree TV. 12, pull PPR, Godwin and Lloyd for Pittman and Flowers.
As much as I like Godwin, give me Pittman and Flowers. I mean, Lloyd at this point, we don't even know like when is he going to be active, and then when he is active, what's his role going to be? Yeah, I like Godwin, but I mean, I can get two very good wide receivers with Pittman and Flowers. Give me Pittman and Flowers.
Yeah, I was all over Lloyd in draft season as a late sleeper, best ball pick. He has zero value right now in redraft, and he's not going to have much value for a couple of weeks at least until this offense gets right with Jordan Love back. So give me those two receivers instead of the one for sure. Alan Wendling, still there in Brazil. All right. Etienne, Allen, and Hawkinson. I'm assuming Keenan Allen. For AJ Brown and Walker.
I mean, if that's Keenan Allen, get yourself AJ Brown and Kenneth Walker now.
Yeah.
Like, yes, get those guys yesterday. If it's Josh Allen, maybe it's a little bit closer, but I still want AJ Brown and Kenneth Walker, assuming I have a halfway decent second QB option and I'm not going to be rolling with Deshaun Watson, Gardner Minshew, somebody like that all year. But yeah, AJ Brown and Walker, smash, accept that.
Yeah, no matter what Allen is, I'll take the AJ Brown and Walker side for sure. And then got Bobby Brooke over in the UK, 12-team PPR. How much would you spend to get Jameson Williams?
I mean, it's got to be a significant amount. This guy should have been drafted, and not only should he have been drafted, like now everybody knows he should have been drafted after week one. Everybody in your league is like, oh crap, we should have drafted this guy. At least half, I think, if not more. At least half. Like, is there really gonna be another Jameson Williams on the waiver wire at some point?
Right, and it's a great point. I mean, we usually advocate for not overspending in week one. Guys who, just become 1 week wonders, Alec Pierce. This isn't different. This is possibly a legit year 3 breakout, like full-fledged breakout. Guy in a good offense, first round pick. Yeah, I think you can go up to half. Then we have Ramu. Welcome back, Ramu Chalasani. Opinion on this trade has McBride and Flowers, but was offered Kincaid, Devontae Smith. I mean, this seems, I don't know, kind of lateral.
Yeah, but I prefer Smith to Flowers. I probably prefer McBride to Kincaid, but we're talking about like if I'm gonna take the hit, it's gonna be at tight end, not at wide receiver. I'd rather have the better wide receiver. So I'll take the Kincaid Devonta Smith side just to get Devonta Smith.
Well, the good thing in the tight ends is no matter who it is, they all had bad week one. So we can take nothing away from week one. I'm still big on Kincaid and McBride. Yeah, I had Devontae Smith higher than Flowers. So, and I did say I think Kincaid could be the tight end one. So I pretty much have to go with that side. But again, this is not like, okay, I know I don't have to, but I'm going to. Yeah, I mean, it's not lopsided either way. We'll see how it turns out, but I would take the Kincaid side. Bobby's got another one, by the way. Rest of the season PPR. Chase Brown, Ty Chandler, Jalen Wright.
Am I overreacting to week 1 and Chase Brown here? Because if the Bengals offense actually does become what we expected the Bengals offense to be, I still think Chase Brown can be very valuable in fantasy. But if the Bengals, if last year, was a warning sign, and now it's like, hey, we tried to warn you, this isn't an elite offense anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Then how good can he really be? I might just gamble on Jalen Wright, especially if Mostert if Mostert and Achane are out this week. Give me Wright. Let me see what he can do. Because even if Jeff Wilson's the guy, they can't get Jalen Wright's going to get touches. Who else do they have? I don't even, Chris Brooks. I don't even think is he even still on the team. I know Ahmed's not on the team anymore. Yeah, they don't have anybody else. So I know the Miami offense is going to be good. I'll go with Jalen Wright.
Yeah, normally I would just say stick with Chase Brown. But given the fact that Wright might actually get some action already, yeah, he's got that upside that doesn't really matter. Put somebody in that Dolphins offense or running back, especially a guy like him who's got 4.3 speed. He has plenty more upside than Chase Brown ever will, just by nature of being in that offense. So partly because of those injuries, I think you swing for the upside, swing for the fences, and go Jalen Wright. All right. And before we get to the next super chat, which by the way, they are sneaking up on us because we're getting backlogs. So guys, if you did super chat within the past hour, we're going to catch up and get there. But I know a lot of you weren't on quite yet at the very beginning. I got to remind you of a couple things here. First of all, Underdog has another promotion. That's right. Almost can't believe it. They've got another promotion here, another chance for you to either win money or get money back. Well, right now it's called the No Sweat token. They had it last week. It's back again. No sweat. So if your entry that you make on your pick'ems doesn't cash, you get it back. All right. Bonus cash back to your account. So you can use that No Sweat token. That's for both new and existing customers. But if you are new because you haven't tried Underdog yet, make sure you sign up now so that you can get this free pick. Josh Allen just getting 1 yard on Thursday night. That's right. That's your very first pick right there. As a new customer to Underdog, you get that free pick and you combine it with any other pick. And you do that when you sign up and using our promo code ENDGAME. You also get that bonus cash up to $1,000, 50% deposit match. So still a very good time. Don't know how long that will last. Can't guarantee that it will last forever because it used to be much less, but they've extended it. I'm surprised it's still up, to be honest. But hey, if they're going to give you that much bonus just for depositing and just for starting an account, I think this is the best time to do it. Now, you don't have to go that high. Of course, you deposit whatever you feel comfortable with, but make sure you do use that code to take advantage of that offer plus that free pick of Josh Allen. All right, we are going to we're going to play catch up here for our super chats. So make sure everyone gets their due time. Cogent, Achane, Swift, Warren, Benson, McLaughlin, AJ, JJ, Waddle, Rice, Reed, Brian Thomas. Anybody to drop? Trades.
Yeah, you definitely need, if Achane is out this week, are you rolling with Swift and Warren as your running backs? You're pretty stacked at wide receiver here. AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson, Waddle, Rice. Reed is your wide receiver 5. Brian Thomas. I might be looking to trade Jaden Reed right now. He's coming off a big game, and I don't think his value is going to take a big hit right now. Now, this weekend, if Malik Willis is horrible and Jaden Reed has no catches, then yeah, people are going to be like, oh my gosh. But right now, I think people are still very high on Jaden Reed. So he might be the guy I'm trying to trade, maybe for a James Cook, who didn't have like a huge game, but was good, but didn't have like a huge game. Maybe a James Conner. Maybe a James Conner type. Maybe even his teammate Josh Jacobs, who also didn't have a huge game. And people are like a little worried about after that game because he only had like 4 yards in the first half and everybody thought he was dust. So something like that. But you definitely need another running back because.
Yeah, I'd say you could use a little help at running back anyways. And then if HN doesn't even play, I mean, you don't want to be starting Jalen Warren. So, yeah, do that. I would trade Reed as well, get a running back. You can drop McLaughlin for a Jalen Wright. That would be nice, especially since you have HN. You don't have to hold Benson. If HN's out, you probably need somebody with upside. Any of those running backs we talk about, Bucky Irving, if he's available, Tank Bigsby. So, yeah, you don't have to definitely don't keep McLaughlin right now, and you don't need to keep Benson, but only if there's somebody good to pick up. And then Luis Rodriguez has CMC. Should he try to pick up Mason or Zach Moss?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Zach Moss is not a absolute must hold. So, yes, definitely pick up Mason. Kyle. Who to start? Kyler Murray or Jaden Daniels?
We had this one for somebody else. I know Jaden was better this week, but I still believe Kyler Murray will be better most weeks. I'm going Kyler.
Yeah, and you will see when you watch the quarterback / tight end start sit. I mean, we're saying don't really think about it. Kyler Murray, if you got Kyler Murray, rarely will you have another quarterback that should start over him, and Jaden Daniels is not it. All right, what about Brother Pickle? Tight end premium. 3 receiver, 2 running back, a tight end, a flex, and a quarterback. Lost Puka and Njoku with a tight end premium. That hurts.
That hurts.
So, okay, there's more. Oh, here we go. All right. Which, by the way, this is a perfect use for that Draft Lane app because we can actually get in there. Just saying, if you ask this question on the app, we can get in there and we can actually see your roster and your waiver wire and see who's available. It's pretty cool. I'm just like, add him, drop him. But let's do this. Brother Pickle. Likely Parkinson, Lazard, Dortch, Tank, Madison, Vele for Broncos. And that's his roster. So what do you do? We got Ingram.
Okay, you also have Evan Ingram, so that's good. But it is tight end premium. So it's not bad to have another one. So I would rank them likely Parkinson, Tank, be third. And then I guess Lazard be fourth for me.
Yeah, I mean, a tight end premium, and I remember this team, right? He dropped us like a week ago. Yeah, you don't need a tight end because you have Ingram, but it's still, you should try to get likely. So you don't have to panic, but try to get those guys anyways, those top two tight ends. Yeah, you can drop Douglas. Okay, let's get to... Okay, well, we kind of already answered that. Let's see. Let's get to the Gaming Wolf. Got that membership. Who are you picking up between Shaheed or Lazard?
I know Shaheed was my guy all off season. Of course, that's because I didn't even consider Alan Lazard as a thing.
Nor should you have.
I think I'm still going to go Shaheed. I will say that. Okay, I'll say this. There's no victory laps because I did also say that the Panthers would be an improved offense, and they are not an improved offense so far. But I did say that the two, that them and the Saints would be like two of the biggest surprises in offense this year. Now, my reasoning for the Panthers was Dave Canales. We'll see. But my reasoning for the Saints was Clint Kubiak in pre-snap motion.
Yep.
And they ran pre-snap motion at a crazy rate, and we saw the difference. Now, I know it's not going to be like that every week because they're not playing the Panthers every week, but I think it's going to be good for this whole offense. So I'm gonna stick with my preseason take and go with Shaheed.
Yes, as am I. Eventually, Mike Williams is going to do something, at least be on the field. Corley didn't see the field. Eventually, he'll be worked in. So I think there was just that comfort with Lazard. And like, let's face it, I think everything he did was like, what, if not the fourth quarter, late third quarter, fourth quarter, they were losing. I'm not going to put too much into that. All right. We have Shiga. I have CMC, Achan, Dowdle, Jalen Wright. Only Madison, Bigsby, and Hill are available on waivers. Okay, so who to prioritize? Well, got the 12th priority, probably getting whatever's left over. But how would you set it?
Yeah. Bigsby, Madison, Hill, I get, or maybe Bigsby, Hill. The thing is, Hill's only going to have value in games where you can look and be like, okay, the Ravens are probably going to be behind. They're going to probably have to throw the ball a bunch, so Hill can get some dump offs. Bigsby, Madison, Hill, I guess, is my order. I don't know.
That's what I'm doing. I talked up Bigsby on the waiver wire. Didn't really mention Madison. He's just a kind of like whatever stash. Hill's last. So hopefully get somebody there. Which is a good point, real quick. Juice. Always look to see if one of your league mates makes a ridiculous move and drops somebody. Like Boomer was saying earlier, the guy who had Jordan Love just dropped him. He said he didn't even pick up anybody. He just dropped him. He's just like, I don't need him. And people do this. Always check the guys you don't think will be available on the waiver wire. Always look. Just check real quick. All right. Vasco Tino, Gibbs, and Godwin for Saquon.
No, this is too much for Saquon. I know Saquon looked great, had 3 or whatever, but like, did I miss something in this game on Sunday night? Did Gibbs not look great? Did Gibbs not get all the goal line work prior to the overtime? Like, Gibbs got the goal line work. Gibbs got more work than Monty. Gibbs was more productive than Monty. What did I miss on Sunday Night Football? What did I not see that everybody else saw? Did I miss the part where Monty was phenomenal? He was phenomenal in overtime when the Rams looked like after they lost the toss, they're like, okay, we're done. Like, we're just going to let the Lions run down our throats for the, right? I mean, look, what was the overtime? It was like 20-yard Monty run, 10-yard Monty run. I think it was like a 10-yard Gibbs catch. We got 8-yard Monty run down to the 1, and then a touchdown. Like, did the Rams even play defense in overtime? They were like, we're done. We're out of here. But before that, what did Monty have? Like 70 yards or 60 yards or something? He had, you know what I mean? Gibbs was playing great. I don't understand. Gibbs is going to be great. Gibbs and Godwin.
Yeah, Gibbs, I mean, he only ran for 40 yards total, but he had 4 catches, 34 yards. Monty had 1 catch for 2 yards. Gibbs is still more valuable, clearly, but yeah, I think it's a little too much. This seems like an overreaction trying to get Saquon. He's not going to score 3 touchdowns every week either. T-Dub, waiver priority here. Let's set it. He already has likely Hawkinson and Jordan Mason and Tank's big. Oh, no. Is this his? Okay. Oh. I'm misreading it. Okay. So this is what he has as his waiver priority. Okay. I know what you're going to say. Say it.
Okay. This is another thing I need explanation on. And I've said this all off season. Why are we in on Hawkinson? And please don't tell me, look at how good he was last year. If he comes back and is healthy, okay, that was last year with a healthy Kirk Cousins. This is Sam Darnold. Like, this is not the same. This is not a 1-to-1. This is not the same. He's not coming back into the same offense here. This is gonna be totally different. I'm not picking up. And not only that, like, when's the soonest he could be back? Week 5? Like at the absolute best?
Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought I heard him say he's not coming back to like week 7 or 8 or something like that. But yeah, why picking him up now?
Yeah. So anyways, scratching Hawkinson off completely.
Yes.
You've got Mark Andrews, so I don't think you need likely. Like, sure, if you get likely, okay, nice to have, but I don't think you need them. Again, I'm going to put Mason first. I'll put Tank second since you have Etienne, and then I'll put likely third.
Exactly. Mason's got to be the number 1 here. Tank second. Get that running back. That running back's always going to be more valuable than that tight end. And you have Mark Andrews. I get you want likely as well, but I'd rather have the running back handcuff than the tight end handcuff, but not Hawkinson. So there you go. Rodolfo De Leon, full PPR. Got HN. Got JT. I like how you have HN as your 1 and JT as your 2. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown, Debo, Kirk, Higgins. And then there's the bench. Okay, so advice.
So you got priority number 1. I'm assuming it's the type of thing where like you use it, you lose it.
Probably.
I mean, do I want to use my number 1 on Dobbins or Mason?
Dobbins, no. I'll just go and see that. Not the number 1. I think Mason might be worth it because what if CMC misses? Or really, I think the more likely is he comes back, re-injures it. There is definitely re-injury risk. I think Mason might be worth it. Jameson Williams, if he's out there, sure, he's worth it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you're in a league where Jameson Williams is still out there, sure.
But that's it.
All right. Maybe for Mason if he's out there.
So yeah, that's pretty. There's nobody else who jumps out like worth the number 1 pick. So that's what I would do. All right, Julio run CMC. Didn't do much running last night. He did get Jordan Mason at the last minute. Nice work. But here's the question: what do I do with him? Would you keep Deontay or Keenan to go for a boom receiver? I mean, you got to keep Mason.
Yeah, but if you picked up Mason, that means you don't have to drop one of these guys for Mason if you already picked them up.
Yeah, I'm thinking these are separate questions. So you got Mason. What do you do with him? I think you just keep him, or you sell high if you can sell high. And then he's asking, are you holding on to Deontay or Keenan, or go for? I mean, I don't know, a receiver. Don't know who's available. I mean, I don't want to go for an Alec Pierce, of course.
No, I mean, it would have to be like a league where it's like, hey, Chris Godwin is still on my waiver wire or something like that, or Jameson Williams is still somehow on my waiver wire. No, I'm in almost every case I'm holding Deontay or Keenan out.
Yeah, I think just hold tight to all these guys. Demetrios has a question. I need more depth at RB. Have Monty Pacheco, Gus, McLaughlin, Warren. Not going to trade Monty Pacheco. Okay, so looking for like some high upside bench types. You want somebody who will play.
You're not going to trade Gus Edwards, Jaleel McLaughlin, or Jalen Warren for anything right now. These guys were awful in week 1. So if you're not willing to trade Monty or Pacheco, I don't know who your wide receivers are, but that means you're going to have to go out to the waiver wire. I mean, I can drop McLaughlin for Dobbins, Mason, Tank, Bucky Irving, any of those guys that have a much clearer path right now.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get anything in the trade market right now. Unless somebody really likes Jalen Warren, okay, go for it. I mean, look, for the most part, I want to hang on to Gus Edwards. Not giving up on him completely after 1 game. He still will score some touchdowns, etc. So, yeah, drop McLaughlin, do something on the waiver wire. I don't know that it's a good time to go out and trade for an RB3. You know what I mean? Like, you can probably find somebody like that easier on the waiver wire. Go for upside with Jalen Wright if you can. Marcus, half PPR. Are you flexing Zamir White or Brian Thomas Jr.?
Half PPR. I might just go Brian Thomas Jr. I'm not completely giving up on Zamir White, but I'm kind of at the point where it's like, okay, let me see it first. Let me see him get like that workhorse role we were promised. So I'll just gamble on Brian Thomas Jr. He was pretty good last week.
Yeah, and then I think it was Pierce came out and said now all of a sudden it's like a hot hand thing. Oh, that would have been nice to know before you said you were going to give Zamir, just feed him, the ball. Whatever. No, Brian Thomas looked really good. So I would go Brian Thomas. Kenneth Uko, what's up? Would you trade Rice for Pollard?
No. Rashee Rice? No. I know Pollard looked good, but yeah, Rashee Rice also looked good, and I believe in Rashee Rice long term more than Pollard.
Agree. I mean, I know you don't love your running back room right now. But look, and you just lost Puka.
Honestly, it's way more fair Rice for Mixon. It's way more fair. I know Mixon's coming off a big game, and now everybody thinks Mixon's going to be like the best running back this year, but it's one game. But I think he'll be solid. I think Rice for Mixon is way more fair than Rice for Pollard, or even Rice for Cook. Way more fair.
I was going to say, if you can get Cook, I would do that, but I don't know if you will. But I would do that. I would go for Cook. Rahul Ramesh, how do you feel about Coleman over Jaleel Scam Mostert? Also, should I be dropping a ton to get Mason? Maybe half a ton.
I would definitely take Keon Coleman over Jaleel McLaughlin. I mean, Jaleel McLaughlin. Just this Broncos offense. How can you really feel good about anybody in this Broncos offense right now? I mean, I know Bo Nix will probably get better, but how much better? As far as dropping a ton to get Mason, I wouldn't drop a ton to get Mason because, again, if CMC comes back fully healthy at some point, Mason is just a handcuff. That's it. So if you have Christian McCaffrey, you can be a little more aggressive on Mason, but I'm not like emptying the tank to go get Jordan Mason.
No. Don't go all in on him. I think depending on your league and your needs and etc., I think you can go up to 25% fab. But that's probably it. Unless again you're the CMC owner and you're thin at running back already. Coleman, sure. Over Jaleel. Yeah, I'm not dropping Mostert though. Shaquille Naidoo has Bijan, Kyron, London Cup, James Cook at the flex, and Joku is out. Bench is Ford, Eckler, and Keenan. All right. So with Njoku out, you trading a guy like Cook for Kelsey or just stream?
Just stream. How good can we even feel about Kelsey right now? He played 90% of the like 89% of the snaps. Hollywood was out. Xavier Worthy was making his first ever NFL start. And he had the same number of catches as Noah Gray, who they just extended, by the way. Like sure, Kelsey will still have some weeks where he scores a touchdown and he's fine. But in my opinion, Kelsey is just another good tight end. Some weeks you're going to be frustrated with him, and some weeks you're going to be happy with him. Not a guy I'm like, oh, I got to go get Kelsey. Not for James Cook. I would just stream.
Yeah, it doesn't ever feel great streaming tight end because there's not a lot out there. But you also don't want to give up a number one running back. So I know you got Bijan Kyron, but if you're actually starting, looks like you're flexing Cook. He's in your starting lineup. No, I wouldn't do it. Cash money. Traded Swift and Pitts for Kittle and Puka. What do you think about that? I mean, could be a big win.
Yeah, I mean, right now, it's not gonna be a big win, but when Puka comes back healthy, this is gonna be a big win. I mean, unless Pitts just like goes nuts this year, then maybe you regret giving up Pitts, but I doubt it. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a big win.
Yeah, I would definitely do that. I think it's worth it. Have Nico, DJ Moore, CMC, Kyron. I think it's worth it. Again, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So yeah, I like that deal. Boogie. Higgins, Puka, and Addison are hurt. Sign who?
Well, if you're talking about waiver wire, I mean, if you need wide receiver help, which it sounds like you probably do here, Demarcus Robinson would be one of my top guys. I mean, look, okay, if for some reason Jamison Williams is still on your waiver wire, go get Jamison Williams. We've heard people say Jamison Williams is still out there. Demarcus Robinson would definitely be one. Who else? I mean, Alan Lazard is fine if he's your best option. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, honestly, when I'm putting together waiver wire, there's not a lot of great options at receiver right now.
No.
Just aren't. But that could change. I mean, it depends how deep you go. Look, if Addison doesn't play, Jalen Naylor is a name to kind of look out for. That's getting deep though. What happening? Okay. How binding is a verbal trade agreement for you? This is where we're getting into the gray area. Made a deal to trade away Mason to the CMC owner, but later found out I'm playing the CMC owner in week 2, so you don't want to go against the guy you traded him. So you made a verbal agreement, is what I'm understanding here. So you're wondering if you can renege?
I mean, of course you can renege. It's your choice. But I'll tell you right now, like if I was the CMC guy and you said, hey, I'll trade you, like, first of all, who are you getting back for Mason? Like if it's somebody really good, just give him Mason. It's week 2. It's week 2. If Mason, I don't care if Mason scores 100 points and beats you this week. It's week 2. You'll be okay. Now, if you were just gonna get back, if he's like, okay, I'll give you like Tank Bigsby, and you're like, oh no, now I might lose this weekend and only get like Tank Bigsby. Okay, but I'll tell you this, irrespective of that, if you had a verbal agreement to me like, hey, I'll trade you Mason for blah blah blah, and I said, okay, let's do it. And then you backed out and said, oh, I realize I'm playing you this week. Never mind. The next time you come to me with a trade offer, I'm probably just going to be like, right. Unless it's like way lopsided for me, I'm probably just going to be like, nah, I'm good. I don't even want to deal with it. I don't even want to deal with it.
That's exactly it. How concerned are you about your potential to trade with this other team, this other owner in the future? Right? Because if you back out after saying you would do it, yeah, you're probably not making another deal with him later. Maybe. Who knows? It really depends. I mean, if this is somebody you're going to play with again next year, just do it. If you made this deal, it probably should have been a deal that was good for you in the first place. So why not just do it? I mean, if you're that worried that Jordan Mason is going to single-handedly beat you, then you shouldn't be trading him away. But
right.
Yeah. Right. I probably should just go through with it. Allen, Wendling again. Actually, we already did this one, right? Etienne Hawk, Keenan Allen.
Yeah, take the AJ Brown Walker side in a heartbeat, like now.
Got it. All right, Martinez Walker offered Harrison for Worthy. Being offered, he's getting Marvin Harrison. I do that.
Yeah, I think I'm still gonna buy into Marvin Harrison. I mean, Worthy had that long jet sweep and that long touchdown catch, or whatever, medium touchdown catch. But outside of that, what did he really do? I assume Hollywood's going to be back soon and healthy. I'll still gamble on Marvin Harrison.
Yes. Yeah, it's too early to just call Harrison a bum. I think he'll be fine. I'm taking Marvin Harrison. This feels like a great buy low, which if you can do it, then do it. Andrew Oliver got Kincaid and Ingram with their lack of targets in week 1. Do I spend Fab getting Likely as insurance? You have somehow 2 of the top 8 tight end. You don't need.
How many tight ends? This is like the anti-Chris team right here. I just have a team of tight ends. My whole team is just tight ends. Nah, you got 2 good tight ends. They'll be fine. Don't waste your Fab on a 3rd tight end.
Look, if it's a tight end premium, okay. Maybe that explains why you already have Kincaid and Ingram. If it's not, just forget it. Which, yes, good point, Tristram. The biggest line fantasy is week 1.
Yes.
Somehow, everything will get flipped upside down next week, and we're all going to be shocked. Rob, half PPR needs a receiver. Ramondre forgot.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I mean, look, I liked what I saw from Ramondre this week. Ramondre was one of those guys I say, and I think he can bounce back this year. But at the same time, I've been calling Godwin a potential league winner, so I'm still much higher on Godwin than Ramondre. Give me Godwin.
Yeah, you need a receiver. Godwin's a good receiver to get. This seems pretty fair. In fact, these guys were both drafted around the same range, anyways. Generally, I prefer the running back. You need a receiver. Yeah, Godwin will be fine. Thomas has number one priority. So here we go again. Is it likely Dobbins, Mason? He's saying he's got lots of depth, but only Andrews at tight end. I think he'll be fine.
If I only have Andrews at tight end, I'm going Mason. Like maybe I could put likely ahead of Dobbins if I really like. If I'm like, I have so much, like I'm just so stacked at running back. I wouldn't even play Mason if Christian McCaffrey was out for the season. That's how stacked I am. Okay, maybe in that case I could go likely. But in most cases, I'll probably go Mason 1. I'll go likely 2 because at least it saves you the panic of like, what if Mark Andrews gets hurt? It's like, okay, I just put likely in and I'm fine. So
I almost feel like if you added likely, it's just be more aggravating for you because then you're like, well, who do I start? Andrews or likely? I think you'd be fine with Andrews. I mean, possible. I'm adding Mason again, even if I'm not the CMC owner, even if I feel like I'm deep at running back, I add him because if CMC is out in week 2, which they're saying that he's probably going to be, if Mason has another just good game, if not big game, I have a very valuable trade chip all of a sudden because then the CMC owner is desperate for Mason or somebody else who loses a running back. So I'm always going to try to take whoever I think has the most rest of season value. And for me, it ain't likely. So I'm going to go Jordan Mason. Carl wants to know, would you trade Mason for a Pitts or McBride to get a tight end?
probably. This is close. There's always that little thing in the back of my head, like, what if this is it? What if this is one of those CMC years where we hardly like? What if Jordan Mason is this year's Mike Davis, but even better? You know what I mean? Sure we all remember Mike Davis.
Of course we do.
Who then got paid by the Falcons and turned back into Mike Davis. The original Quadzilla, by the way. But I mean, if you're getting an elite tight end for a guy who's just a handcuff most of the time, I think I'd probably do it.
If I can get McBride right now, I'll do it. I'm still big on McBride, so yeah, why not? And then we got Kitchen DLZ. Likely for Taysom.
Nah, give me likely. Like, what? I don't even understand. Like, Taysom did nothing. Taysom didn't do anything. Like, it wasn't like Taysom had a Taysom game and everybody's like, oh, I gotta go get Taysom. Like, he did nothing. Like, I think you said this on the QB tight end video coming out. Like, you said, like, hey, there's gonna be that week where he's gonna have a Taysom week where he scores like 2 touchdowns and everybody's like, oh my god, I gotta start Mason this week, I gotta start Hill this week. But good luck figuring out when it'll be.
We really don't need to be trading for Taysom Hill in any format right now. Desperation streamer is pretty much what he is. Keep Deontay Johnson. Yeah, you got to keep him.
Yeah, I'm not completely abandoning Deontay Johnson because of a rough week 1. You got to keep him.
You don't have to start him, but
right,
you should keep him. All right, Brandon Ahmed has Brock into at QB and Njoku at tight end. All right, well, I will say this, waiting patiently for the QB tight end video. It will come out, though. You got Tua Thursday night, and you got to decide Brock or Tua. Look, as a lifelong diehard Dolphins fan, I know we're going to lose to Buffalo, so I would just go Brock Purdy.
Really? I'm going Tua. I believe in Tua. I think Purdy's fine this week, though. He's got a much better matchup.
Well, he's definitely got a better matchup, but also Ayuk should actually be sort of closer to being involved. So, yeah, it's close, but
I think you're just like one of those fans that are like, we always lose to Buffalo. We're always terrible against Buffalo. He's going to be terrible. I've just already accepted it so that the pain isn't as severe when it happens.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Silly V, London or Flowers to flex?
You know what? I'm going to go Flowers this week. I like Flowers. I think you can feel safer about Flowers. Let's see Cousins look better. Like, I'm not just outright benching London, but if you got somebody like Flowers, let's go with Flowers. My dog's making a weird noise. All right.
Yeah. Well, one of the videos coming out later this week talks quite a bit about Zay Flowers in a positive light. Not out on London, but I am going Flowers. Timothy James B. All right. Are we getting rid of, purging ourselves of the Burrow Chase stack to receive back Richardson and Nico?
You know what? Just give me Richardson and Nico, honestly. Just give me Richardson and Nico. Don't even have to hassle with the Burrow Chase stack. I mean, I'm sure they'll be better. I'm sure Burrow and Chase will get better, but yes, give me Richardson and Nico.
And look, if you need a reason to do this, this is the one. Remember, I mentioned this at the beginning. Timothy, he's the one who could not lose. He did it. He lost. He lost to his 13-year-old. But you know what? You have done a service by boosting his confidence. It's not about you anymore. It's about your kids.
And remember, like you played him in week 1. That means you're going to play him again, so you'll get a chance to avenge your loss.
Yes. I'm taking Richardson, Nico. Definitely. Good luck in week 2. All right. Axrock Mireles trade Devontae Adams and Rachaad White for Jalen Waddle, Kenneth Walker, and PPR.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. This is like 2 of my favorite fantasy players this year. I was still high on Rachaad White, not as high as last year, but I was still high on him. But now after what we saw in week 1, I'm starting to cool off a little bit on him. And I have not been on Devontae Adams, and I'm not going to be on Devontae Adams. Give me Jalen Waddle and Kenneth Walker easily here.
It's a great time to trade away Rachaad White, isn't it? Especially if he does continue to cede carries to Bucky Irving. Not saying he's going to become irrelevant, but maybe just not as productive as last year. Kenneth Walker, I mean, just huge on. Yeah, do this. Get the Waddle Walker side for sure. All right, and then we got Andres Huerta. Let's do some start sit here to 10-teamer PPR. Tua, Achane, Connor, Hill, AJB, Laporta, Waddle. That's that very heavy Dolphins stack here. Ramondre, Jones, McConkey, Purdy, Jason, Hollywood, Jets, or Seattle at defense.
All right, well, I assume we're doing 2-2-1. So it looks like it. Achane, Connor. All right, I'll say if Achane is out, I'm probably going to go Ramondre and Connor. Yeah, you're definitely starting Tyreek Hill and AJ Brown. I'm still going 2 over Purdy, but I know you're going Purdy. I think it's close. It's fine either way. You do have Hill and Waddle, so Laporta. Yeah, the only change I see is maybe you could go Purdy over Tua, and if Achane is out, Ramondre over Achane. Jets get a great matchup this week, don't they?
The Jets? Blah, blah, blah. Jets get Titans.
Yeah, I might just go Jets. Will Levis out there, like, sure, he can throw a touchdown, but then he can also like do like a no look over his head, heave to the defense for a pick 6, or like he just does the most random stuff where you're like, did he just do that? Did he just really do that?
It was like a skyhook, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right? He was just like, let's see who gets it.
It's like just take the sack.
I still have faith in Levis, but I say this: you're already all in on the Dolphins. You got Hill, Waddle, Achane. You might as well go to it because if the Dolphins come up short, you're losing anyways. So you might as well just roll with Tua, right? Ride or die. But yeah, I would throw Ramondre in there right now in case Achane doesn't play or is limited, and then you can take it from there. And then maybe if you just want to keep Ramondre in there, you limit somewhat your exposure to Miami. So yeah. All right, Mac P. You're flexing Chase Brown, likely Shakir.
Assuming it's not tight end premium, assuming it's just like a regular PPR league, I'll go Shakir. like again, I don't think Likely is going to be like a total bust at tight end, but I think people are going to be a little underwhelmed with Likely this week. Not that I'm super high on Shakir, but he could score. He's got Josh Allen. I'll go Shakir.
Yeah, I'll go
Plus,
Shakir here too.
that Miami secondary looked terrible last week.
Sorry, sure did. Yeah, I'll go Shakir here in PPR for your flex. Dylan Harrington already has Mason, so CMC for White and Dobbs? No, sir.
No. I don't know what White that is. It doesn't matter though. No, definitely not. Definitely not. Look, you have Mason. If I have CMC and Mason, I'm just sitting. I'm just like, I'm not even stressed. Not even stressed. I'm like, okay, CMC, take your time. Get as healthy. Like get to 100% risk free before you come back. I'll just ride with Mason until you come back and feel just fine.
Yeah, this is definitely not enough for CMC. Even if they said he's out 4 weeks, it's still not enough.
Even if they said he's out 10 weeks, I don't think it's enough.
Well, yeah, maybe. Live wire. Would you trade Josh Palmer for Bucky Irving?
Yeah, give me Bucky Irving. Like, what's the realistic expectations for Josh Palmer? Like every now and then, he scores a touchdown. Like, okay, you're in a heavy bye week, and you're like, okay, I can throw him in my lineup and hope he scores. Like, there's a real possibility Bucky Irving is the lead running back before too long. So, yeah, give me Bucky Irving.
Right. Okay. And so he wants to know also, looks like he's got Rachaad White. So, better reason to get Irving. Rate this team. Got Bucks running back, Niners running back, Ramondre Dobbins, Metcalf, London, Dell, Lockett, Ingram, McBride, Kyler. Another 2 tight ends stacked there.
And 2 good tight ends, too. Like, what? And he's got Kyler and Purdy. Supposed to be a pretty shallow league, I'm guessing. Your running backs are very good. Wide receivers are good. Obviously, like I still feel good about Dell. I still feel good about DK. London, I'm a little on the fence on. We'll see. But still, overall, it's a very good team. I mean, 2 elite tight ends, elite QB. I'll say 8.5.
Yeah, not knowing all the details of your league. You're solid at running back, pretty deep. Lacking that elite wideout for now, but it's still pretty good. I mean, if this is a 12-teamer, then I would say more like an 8.25, but that's still good. D just wants to know, is Mostert worth keeping, or do you trade?
No, I think he's still – I mean, well, okay. Again, if you can trade him and get something good in return, you trade him. But I doubt that's going to happen after what we saw in week 1. But you never know. People might still believe. But I think in most cases, Mostert is a hold.
I'm keeping him for now because what's his value? He was already being drafted probably later than he should have been. Can't give up just yet. I kind of feel better knowing that he did have an injury. That's why he didn't do much in week 1. It's not like they just said, you're not good enough anymore. So, yeah, keep him for the most part. Eric Fortis Jr. Welcome back, Eric. Jaden Reed for Marvin Harrison Jr. It's an interesting one.
Maybe I'm wrong here, but I think I'm still gonna go Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm gonna believe in the talent long term. I like Jaden Reed for sure, but I'm gonna still prefer Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, it's way too early to give up on Marvin Harrison Jr. Look, you're able to get a guy like Harrison who was borderline first-round pick in a lot of leagues. Jaden Reed's lost his quarterback for a couple of weeks. I think that's a good deal. Now, this is different. Ayuk for Nakua.
So here, even though I was higher on Puka than Ayuk all off season, and I still think Puka will come back and be fine, I might just take Ayuk here. Because what if he's doesn't come back? Or what if he comes back and he's not fine? Like, what if he comes back and he re-aggravates it again? You know what I mean? And then misses more time. You know what I mean? So I think Ayuk from here on out, like before the Puka injury and before the Ayuk holdout nonsense, like Puka, I had Puka like a late first and Ayuk like a mid second. It wasn't like there was a huge gap between these guys. Like it wasn't like I had Puka way ahead of Ayuk. So now that the Ayuk circus is over and he's got a game under his belt and now he should be out there like full snaps and be good to go, I'm just not gonna risk it with Puka. Just give me Ayuk.
Right. You said the word, just the risk. Ayuk already got the worst game, hopefully, probably, of his season out of the way with. Should be fine going forward. We don't know that he's going to come back after 4 weeks and be the same Puka. There's re-injury risk. There's risk it's longer than 4 weeks. So don't bother. Ayuk. Lexdad, shout out Lexdad, got that membership. Shout out to all our members, by the way. Still can't jump on all the super chats. Yeah, there you go. Just joined.
Thank you.
So you can super chat at any time the last 30, 40 minutes. We're still getting there, so hang tight with us. Yasi Melik. Would you sell Puka, JD, for Drake, Sharps, and Bucky? So you're basically getting London and bench players. Nah.
Okay, so here now I'm just gonna hold Puka here. I just feel like Puka could be a big upgrade over Drake London. Charbonnet, Bucky Irving, okay, fine, but no. In this case, I'm gonna keep the Puka side.
Yeah, you're not getting enough back here. So, I mean, not out on Drake London again by any means, but I don't think this is enough overall. Just Sebastian. Moore and Etienne. Is that for Amon-Ra St. Brown? Or Gibbs and Terry for Amon-Ra St. Brown?
I'd probably prefer the more Etienne side. Like as far as what I'm giving up, because again, DJ Moore, it might be rough until Caleb figures things out. Etienne again, like, look, maybe this week Tank Bigsby hardly touches the ball and we feel okay about Etienne, but I'm not in any way worried about Sun God. Like panic level negative here for Sun God. So if I can get an elite wide receiver like Sun God for, a good wide receiver in DJ Moore and a good running back in Etienne, I'll take Sun God.
Between these two options, I prefer the first one. It's close. I think I would do it to get the Sun God. I think I could do it. First one, more than Etienne. Would you do this? Jalen Wright worth adding. Would you drop Deontay, especially if you're the A-chain owner?
I don't see. Oh, there it is. No, I'm not dropping Deontay Johnson. Not yet. And Jalen Wright, I mean, we don't even know if Achane is out this week. Even if Achane and Mostert is out this week, is he just going to be the change of pace back for Jeff Wilson? Nah.
Maybe there's somebody else you can drop. I mean, yeah, I'd like to have Wright, especially if you have Achane. It's too early to give up on Deontay. So hopefully there's somebody else. But did you die? Wants to know. Mason for Moss. He said was offered this, but doesn't like it.
I mean, honestly, I'm just going to take Mason.
Why not?
Going to take Mason.
Yeah, you're saying Mason, you were offered this, assuming you were offered Mason, and I know that seems like someone's trying to pull the wool, but what are you going to, Zach Moss? Go with the upside. Go Mason. Mike Chills, awful league mates who drafted all over the place. So he's explaining how his lineup has CD, Debo, London, Murray, McBride, Robinson, Spears, Tank Dell, went 0 RB. Okay, is this 2-0 RB?
I mean, maybe, but Brian Robinson seems solid now. So, Yeah, Spears, maybe not the best RB2 at the moment. Brian Callahan did say they need to get him more touches. We'll see if it happens. He also said it was going to be a 50-50 split, and it wasn't. So I don't know if I'm going to believe what Brian Callahan says. I don't think it's 2. You can't be 2-0 RB. You can only be not enough 0 RB, meaning like it's better to go all out and have this insane stacked wide receiver room than to tiptoe your way to a decent wide receiver room and a decent running back room, which is what most people do. And then they go like, this strategy sucks. I think Brian Robinson is your RB1 right now is fine. Tyjae Spears is your 2, maybe not fine, but I mean, like, is Dobbins out there? Mikey Irving, again, same. I'm just gonna keep saying the same names. Jordan Mason, are these guys out there?
Right. Yeah. This is the case. It's too early to start trading away to try to help your running back situation when you intentionally win 0 RB, right? You don't know who's going to pop up waiver wire next week at running back. So, yeah, just stack running backs for now if you can. Trick question. Joe's asking, would you hold CMC? I think he means in a trade, not a drop. Okay. I started to panic a little bit. I thought you were talking about dropping CMC. Thinking about offering CMC and Terry for Cup.
No. I know there's risk with CMC right now, but I mean, it doesn't sound like, it just sounds like the 49ers are being extra careful with him because, again, they don't need him. Look, Cup is going to be great for however many games Puka Nacua misses, but eventually Puka is going to come back, and Cup will still be fine. It's not like Cup's going to become a bum. The CMC comes back healthy, like let's say 5 weeks from now. CMC is back fully healthy. Puka Nacua is back fully healthy. You're going to really wish you still had CMC. You're going to really wish you had CMC back. So I don't think I'm doing this. I'm keeping CMC.
Yeah, really.
Especially, again, you have Jordan Mason, so
it's probably the best thing to do with the CMC situation right now is not much. Again, let's not go and overboard and assume he's out for the season because he's not. So I think you're okay. I know you have Achane too. That's not ideal if he doesn't play, but you do have Mason. You do have Mostert. You have B-Rob is startable. Ford is still. You're okay. Yeah, you're okay. So hold CMC. NTY, 10-team PPR, got Nico Debo, St. Brown as the flex. Which 2 RBs? Mason, Connor, Cook, Pollard, Mostert.
Wow. Some good choices here. If CMC plays Connor and Cook, if CMC is out, can I put Mason over these guys? I mean, I really like Connor and Cook. I don't see any reason to bench those guys, but the thing is, though, like Cook plays tomorrow, so you're probably gonna have to start, or Thursday, so you're probably gonna have to start Cook because you can't wait around. I mean, I guess worst case you could play Connor Pollard if you had to. I don't know. I'm probably just gonna go Connor Cook.
That's what I'm doing. It's tough to bench Mason after last night, but you got Connor and Cook. No reason to sit those guys. Stephen Cotto got the membership. Drop Gus for Dobbins, Zeke, Sharps, Chandler, or Jalen Wright.
I mean, I think you can drop him for Dobbins. It looks like, I mean, it's not like Dobbins was the number 1 running back. I mean, he was in terms of yardage, of course, but he was better than Gus. And so, like, do we start to see Dobbins get more work and Gus less work? I think you can drop him for Dobbins.
Not any of the other guys, honestly. Go Dobbins. Second choice would be Jalen Wright. And then is this? It says rest of the season. CMC, Mason, Achan, PPR. Is that a question?
I don't know. Are those his running backs? Maybe.
I'm not sure. I mean, I still put CMC first if you're asking rest of the season. Achan next.
Yes.
Lex Dad got a question. Half PPR needs 2. Rashad White, J.K. Dobbins, Jerome Ford, Jameson Williams, Javonte Williams.
I'm going to go Jameson Williams and really put Dobbins in over Rashad White just because it's the Panthers.
That would be a full 180 on J.K. Dobbins, which is fine.
White did have 5 receiving yards.
Yeah, I think the matchup for White is still too good to ignore. Got the Lions defense. I think you still keep White in there.
Yeah, Jameson and White.
Yeah, Jameson White it is. Jason Olivero, what is up? Half PPR. Monty's in the flex. Dobbins and Ford are on the bench. Who is the best start? You keep Monty in there?
Yeah, I think I still keep Monty in there. He can always score a touchdown. It is a much tougher matchup this week against the Bucs, but he's got touchdown upside.
Yeah, I'm keeping Monty in there. I think he'll be fine. Tampa Bay run defense didn't look too fierce last week. Half PPR. Maybe J.K. Dobbins does it again. I'm not going to count on that big run, so I would keep Monty in there. And appreciate it. Thank you, Jason. Still catch up on super chats, so hang tight. Do want to get to this. This is a really interesting one. CSK, you dropping Christian Watson for Brandon Cooks?
I don't think so. I mean, because look, Jordan Love again, he's not out for the season. He's going to be back at some point, and he'll be fine. So, no, just look. You don't have to start Christian Watson for the next 3 or 4 weeks, but don't drop him.
Yeah, too much upside. Again, couple weeks, you'll probably want Watson back, so just keep him. And then just shout out Jordan Olson, got, of course, another one of our members. Pulled out the victory because CMC was out. So this is somebody who was happy that he got scratched. Cool.
Yeah. Someone's gonna benefit and someone's not, right?
Exactly. There's always another side. Ayo Royale got offered Godwin or Dobbins.
Like somebody is giving you Chris Godwin for J.K. Dobbins in PPR?
That's what it sounds like. That's a smash accept.
Yes. If you're getting Godwin, that is a smash accept.
Yes. If you're getting Godwin, you do this. All right. Let's get to Tris. What's up, Tris? Baker, Higgins, or Amari Cousins? Assuming just for this week.
Well, we don't even know if Higgins is playing.
I mean, I like Baker this week. I'm not going with the Higgins side.
Yeah, Baker or Amari, I guess. I don't know what you're really asking here, but if we're talking about one QB or one wide receiver, Baker and Amari. Unless Higgins is full practice all week, no limitations at all, then maybe I'll go Higgins because Sean Watson looks somehow worse than last year.
I know what we're all pulling for. No one wants to say it. We know we're all pulling for that. Something comes out there and the Browns can be like, all right, your contract's void. Here comes Jameis Winston. That's what we all want.
Jameis, baby. Give us Jameis Winston, please. Give us Jameis. I'll say it. I'm not scared. I'll say it.
There you go. You can only hope. All right. A-Rod needs a flex. Neighbors, Dell, or Najee?
Ooh, two of my booms. Not Najee. Not Najee. He doesn't have enough upside for these guys. I do really like Dell this week. Neighbors gets Commanders, but he's also got Daniel Jones. But he's the clear wide receiver 1. I actually have both these guys on the boom video. Screw it. Let's roll the dice. Let's go Neighbors. Neighbors against Commanders. I don't know how many weeks I'm going to feel this. This might be the only week I feel this good about Neighbors. So let's do it. Neighbors.
I mean, both these guys are kind of risky, but high upside, flex options. You know, I'm still going to go Dell here, but I think both are worth a shot. I mean, Neighbors, again, he did something at least last week. There's that. What about KV Begeman? CMC owner offered Tank Dell for Jordan Mason.
No, see, this is what I mean. This is what you should be doing if you have Jordan Mason, but you should not be accepting this.
Yeah, and I want to make sure I'm interpreting this right because I don't see those guys on your roster. Are you saying you are the CMC owner and you were offered Tank Dell, or the CMC owner who is somebody else offered you Tank Dell? That's what I'm trying to.
Okay, well, if it's that way, if like the guy with Christian McCaffrey's like, I'll give you Tank Dell, I just have to have Jordan take Tank Dell.
Take Tank Dell.
Tank Dell.
If they're trying to give you Jordan Mason, then no, take Tank Dell, whichever side that is. All right, Elmer Sanchez. The question is down here. Help with the lineup. All right, Hurts, you're good. Kamara and Mason, Williams, Bucky, Mostert, Hill, Higgins, DK, Kirk, Brian Thomas, McBride. And the defense question.
I like how you said Higgins. Help with the lineup. Well, if CMC's out again, you're going Kamara, Jordan Mason. If CMC plays, I might just gamble on Bucky Irving. It's the Lions. Javonte, not ready yet. Mostert, banged up. So either Kamara Mason or Kamara Irving. Hill. Man. Again, if Higgins is like, if he's out there every day, fully practicing, like I'm fine, I have no issues, I'll put Higgins in. I'm a little nervous about DK again this week, but I think I put him in over these guys. If Higgins is out, I guess DK and Kirk. Assuming you need a flex.
Right. Yeah. Assuming you need at least one. Yeah, Hurts for sure. Kamara, Mason. I'm assuming CMC doesn't play. They've already kind of said he probably won't. Doubtful. Just keep Mason in there because you don't have another running back I really like better anyways. Hill for sure. I would put Kirk for sure. I don't want to play games with Higgins. And then I would flex Thomas. Defense has got to be the Chargers. Definitely the Chargers.
Yeah, definitely Chargers.
Dylan Loop, 12-team PPR. Fields, Kamara, Gibbs, Garrett, DJ, Ferguson, Rashee. All right, so we got Caleb, Najee, Tank, etc., etc. Any moves looking to make? Okay, well, I'll say this: are you going Fields starting over Caleb this week?
Yeah. Let me see Caleb show something. At least Fields can get you that rushing. So I'm going Fields, assuming he plays. You need a tight end. You don't need to go you don't need to go crazy for a tight end. Ferguson might only miss a week or two, so it's not like you need to go nuts. So I'd be looking at likely Colby Parkinson. Those are my two favorites at tight end I'd be looking at. Other than that, I don't see any moves here. You got good running backs. You got good wide receivers. You got a good tight end when he's healthy. Your QBs could be better, but it's fine for now.
Yeah, I don't know what the et cetera is. It clearly doesn't matter too much. So just stick with what you got. Obviously, you need to grab a tight ends. I know Jerry Jones even came out and said, like, oh, well, Ferguson has a shot to play this week. I don't believe it. So Jerry Jones
No.
probably just straight up lying, but get another tight end. Woods, trade Worthy for Najee or go big. Dobbins and Worthy for Achan. I like that one.
Yeah, I'm not trading Worthy for Najee. I'd honestly rather I think Najee will be solid this year, but I don't know what's the upside. I think I'd rather just hold Worthy over Najee. Dobbins and Worthy for Achan, yes, but maybe wait till tomorrow to see if he's playing this week before you make that deal.
True. I mean, it doesn't sound like anything too serious if he misses a Thursday night game. Not the end of the world. If he misses multiple weeks, then that's not looking good. But I have no problem flipping Dobbins right now and Worthy off of that game. To get HN, I think I would do it. Tolu O with another Olave or Godwin week 2. That's an interesting question.
I'm gonna go Godwin. Gonna go Godwin. I'm not out on Olave, but they get the Lions. That Lions secondary does not look any better. I think he'll have another very strong game. I'm gonna go Chris Godwin.
Yep. Agree. Definitely tougher matchup this week for the Saints. We'll see if Olave does something. Still startable, but much better matchup for Godwin against the Lions. And then Mondre or B-Rob.
Oh, this one's actually close. Mondre against the Seahawks. Brian Robinson against the Giants. But I feel like Ramondre is going to get more touches. He looked pretty good. I think it's just going to be the Patriots offense, right? Like, just give the ball to Ramondre. Throw it when we have to. I'm going to go Ramondre.
This one's very close. I know I usually say I lean toward the guy getting more touches. Mondre's clear workhorse. B-Rob isn't necessarily, but he's still the lead back. I just really feel like the matchup's in his favor. Both are good. I'm going to lean toward the upside of Robinson, but that's a really close one. All right. And so thank you and apologies to Stephen Bowman for making you wait, but we do appreciate it. Again, guys, super chats, we are getting there. If you did super chat, hang tight. We're going to answer them all. I'm in a half point per carry league. I love these. Barkley, Etienne, Cook, and Harris are 4 starters. Has Javonte Mason and Benson on the bench. Receivers on the bench are McConkey, Polk, AD. Do I need to get guys like Madison and Bigsby?
Do you need to? I mean, no. You have 4 guys that, I mean, these guys, other than Etienne, who only got 12, it's pretty funny. Etienne was a guy who hardly got any carries, but Barkley got a ton of carries. James Cook, I think, got 19 carries. Najee got 20 carries. I mean, these guys must have gone off for you this week. Even Najee, who didn't have that big of a game for fantasy. How many points did he have in this league? 20 points in this league. You don't need to get those guys, but it wouldn't hurt to get them, especially Tank, because Tank got as many carries as Etienne. Madison not really getting the carries. He got the receptions, but not the carries, so it doesn't really help you in this league. But I would get Tank. You could drop Polk.
Exactly what I was going to say. You really don't need bench receivers aren't going to be nearly as valuable to you as a potential running back starter. Get Bigsby for sure. I mean, you could get Madison, but I wouldn't make a point of it. So yes, drop Polk for Bigsby. Blair Davis, welcome back, Blair. Ooh. Okay, so I get it. You already got a quarterback. He's got Anthony Richardson. Would you drop Jordan Love to get a guy like Bucky Irving?
This is what I mean. This is why I think in redrafts you could see Jordan Love get dropped, because you're like, well, I got Richardson. I don't need Jordan Love. But yeah, not for Bucky Irving. Not for Bucky. So I don't want to just give somebody, there's somebody out there in your league that drafted, Kirk Cousins or whoever, and they're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do QB? And then you just give them Jordan Love. I mean, I know he's not playing right away, but still, at some point he'll be back. So no, I don't want to draft Jordan Love for Bucky Irving. I would drop Jaleel for Bucky Irving though.
Right, exactly. You're going for RB depth. You don't necessarily need more running backs. Let's just improve the quality of the running backs. I mean, you have enough guys. Yeah, just swap out McLaughlin. Scat Daddy. Set the lineup, okay. QB, 2 running back, 2 receiver, 2 flex. Got Hurts. That's good. Keep Hurts in there. Achan, Gibbs, B-Rob, Dobbins. That's an interesting one this week. And then got Reek, Olave, Neighbors, Ladd, Hollywood.
All right, I'll assume PPR since it doesn't say. Hurts at QB, Achan and Gibbs at running back if Achan plays. Luckily, you will know early in the week because it's Thursday. If he doesn't play, I'm going to go Gibbs and Brian Robinson. And then at wide receiver and flex, I'm going to go Tyreek Hill, Chris Olave, and Malik Neighbors. Even if Hollywood plays, I'm starting those 3 guys over Hollywood this week.
Yes, I'm not wanting to start Hollywood this week if he does play. Let's see him be 100%. You're still starting Gibbs, of course. I'm just starting B-Rob over Achan unless we hear he's really good to go on Thursday night. If he's good to go, of course, you play Achan. If not, just go B-Rob. Okay, then we got Anthony Giangregorio, 12-team PPR redraft. Waddle, Cooper, Higgins, Deontay, Jacoby, CMC, Pacheco, B-Rob, Ford. Got that Brooks stash. Very nice. All right, 2 receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. The 2 receivers are...
Let's do running backs first. If CMC plays, it's CMC Pacheco. If CFC doesn't play, it's Pacheco Brian Robinson. All right, back to wide receivers. Waddle.
Yes.
I mean, I think I got Cooper is still going to be my wide receiver too. I'm just going to pray Deshaun Watson. I don't want to pray for Deshaun Watson. I'm just going to hope Deshaun Watson is better. If Higgins is full go, again, I'm not talking like Higgins, doesn't practice Wednesday, doesn't practice Thursday. He's limited Friday. No, I'm talking like full practice Wednesday, full practice Thursday, full practice Friday. Not an issue. Then I'll go Higgins at flex. Otherwise, I might just go Ford at flex. I mean, at least he's getting the touches. He caught 6 passes. At least he gives you something. I don't know. Yeah, so either CMC Pacheco or Pacheco Brian Robinson, Waddle, Cooper, and then Higgins if it's like no question he's good to go. Otherwise, Ford.
Yeah, this is tough here. Again, plan for being without CMC to be safe. Put Pacheco, B-Rob in there, but obviously you can pivot. Yeah, actually, I think I agree with everything you said. You're definitely starting Waddle, so lock him in your receiver spots. I don't really want to trust Higgins, but can I really say I trust Deontay or Jacoby more than Higgins? Not really. So we'll see how it plays out. But I would just say this. I would not keep CMC and Higgins in your starting lineup now. I would keep them on the bench until you hear something that says that they actually are playing. Jordan Olsen. Would you go as far as to start Jordan Mason over either Etienne or Ford?
If CMC is out, yes.
Why not?
I mean, why risk it with Etienne potentially splitting carries with Bigsby? Why? Like Ford is fine, but Mason, if CMC is out, I feel good enough about him. I'm rolling with Mason.
And I know we always say don't overreact to week 1, but we've seen Jordan Mason be good. We know a running back in the San Francisco offense, the value, and he does not have somebody who's sharing carries with. Again, Deebo Samuel, that was the next leading rusher.
Right.
Which, yeah, Deebo does have value, of course. He vultured a touchdown, he'll get carries, but Mason, yeah, I would go Mason. Riley Penny's got a couple.
Okay.
Actually, now that I look at it, I think this might be the same question twice. This is just more detailed. All right, Riley.
All right.
In a 10-team PPR league, we need 3 between Neighbors, Harrison, the Sun God, Devontae Smith.
All right, well, I'll say here I can sit Marvin Harrison. I Sun God, I'm not stressed about it all. I'm starting Sun God with confidence. Devonta Smith, I'm starting with confidence. He was good last week. He'll probably be better this week. Neighbors gets the Commanders, and for as bad as Daniel Jones was, he didn't completely ignore Malik Neighbors. He at least threw him the ball. So I'll start those three guys, sit Marvin Harrison. If Marvin Harrison goes off this week, great. He's in my lineup every week from now on. But I think in this case, you can afford to sit him.
Exactly. Generally, I would not be Neighbors over Harrison, and it's not about last week's stats. It's about this week's matchup. Take a chance on Neighbors. You don't think about Sun God and Devontae Smith too. I also got offered a trade. What do you think about this? Waddle and Lamar for the Eagles stack of Devontae and Hurts. But it sounds like he would be giving up the Eagles.
Yeah, I would keep the Eagles stack because like Devonta and Waddle to me feel very close. But I still prefer Hurts to Lamar.
Right. I would keep that Eagles stack. I'm big on Devontae Smith. I mean, I'm big on Waddle too, of course, but I'm actually a little higher on Devontae Smith and I'm higher on Hurts. So if you were offered the Waddle Lamar side, no, don't take that. It's not improving your team. Ethan O'Block, other 10-teamer, PPR, CMC, Devontae Adams, and Njoku for Saquon, Rice, and Andrews.
Ooh.
Huh. This is a spicy trade.
I mean, I was going to say I prefer Rice to Adams. And I obviously prefer Andrews to Njoku because Andrews is actually playing.
Right. Even if Njoku wasn't hurt, you'd still prefer Andrews, right?
Yeah, I'd still prefer Andrews. And even though Saquon had a monster game, and now Saquon is going to be the greatest running back this year, because that is the rule of week 1, I still would prefer a healthy CMC to Saquon. But we don't have a healthy CMC. So I might just take the Saquon, Rice, and Andrews side.
I might too, because you're winning on two fronts. Look, Rice and Devontae Adams might want to be similar in value. Even if you like Rice better, I don't think we can say there's a big difference. Some people still prefer Devontae Adams, whatever. Let's just say that's not the factor here, like the deciding factor. Okay. You got to go Andrews over Njoku anyways, even if Njoku wasn't hurt. Now Njoku might miss multiple weeks.
Right.
So you're winning on that front. And then a healthy Saquon versus a non-healthy CMC. Yeah, you're eliminating that risk of CMC missing. I don't even want to say it, but multiple weeks, several weeks, Achilles. Yep. So, yeah, I take the Saquon side too. Okay, let's do this real quick. This one caught my eye. Should I trade it? This is Athera. Would you trade Mason and Swift for Waddle?
Yeah, I would do this. This is how you take advantage of Mason. You go Mason and package him with a running back like Swift, and you get an elite wide receiver like Waddle. Yes.
I mean, even if Swift was your RB2 or Mason was going to be your RB2, you're still coming out ahead. So take Waddle. All right, but Rusty Shackelford is back in the house, doing good. Wide receiver, running back. All right, here we go. St. Brown, Rice, Smith, Waddle, Terry, Keon, Rome. And then got Pacheco, Kyron Ford, Javonte Chubb. Hoping the Puka owner drops him. That would be ridiculous. They dropped Connor last year. Why? Because he missed like 2 games.
I mean, look, if there is a chance that the person with Puka could drop Puka and you have the number 1 waiver claim, I'm not using the number 1 waiver claim. If I wake up tomorrow morning and he didn't drop Puka, oh well. There's nobody I feel like I have to grab off waivers. This isn't like, last year where we had Puka and Kyron on waivers week 1. There's nobody I feel like you have to add this week. So if there's a chance that Puka could be on the waivers tomorrow morning, I'm holding on to that number one and seeing if it happens.
And I get some leagues don't have IR spots. They should, but they don't. And maybe there's a thin bench. There's no excuse still. Nobody should be dropping a guy like Puka Nacua or really even Jordan Love. But I'm glad, Rusty, you brought this up because a lot of times that number one claim or your fab or whatever, it doesn't need to be spent. Sometimes you sit back and wait. You wait for this to happen, something like this to happen. A guy drops a Puka or somebody like this. So, yeah, I would just play the waiting game. I mean, obviously you ask because you think it might happen. So,
right.
I mean, look how deep you are at receiver. Anyways, you don't need to make any moves right now. You're good. Got Pacheco and Kyron. You're good. This is a little different. Juice wants to know: would you drop Javonte or Gus for Bucky?
Man. I mean, I don't want to already be giving up on guys in week one.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you don't have any. These are your worst running backs.
Yeah, no, I would hold steady.
Yeah,
hold steady here. And by the way, shout out Cap for Life. Remember, it was the very first comment we had before the stream started. Still in the house.
Nice.
1000% agree. No need to waste your waiver early unless the guy really jumps out as a potential league winner. I didn't really get that feeling this week. There's nobody who I was like, you have to add him. Unless somebody dropped a player that's super valuable, not yet. Like, let's give it some time. And this kind of the patience thing goes. Oberly family, by the way, thank you. Very nice compliment earlier in the stream. Are we dropping Zeus for a guy like Mason or Likely?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't really want to drop Zamir White unless it's a very shallow league. I mean, not for Likely unless you're like just deep at running back and stack the tight end. But even then, I probably don't want to do it for Likely. I don't know. No. I don't. Again, I don't want to. You don't want to just like you don't want to just give up on guys after 1 week, unless it's something like, oh, like he's not the starting running back. He clearly is a starting running back. He got the bulk of the carries. I don't think so. I
mean, I want to pick up Mason if I can, but I can't give up on my guy. He's going to have a big game at some point, and it's not just, oh, he was my guy. I mean, he's still supposedly the lead running back here. He'll have a game where he busts out. I mean, I'm hoping there's somebody else you can drop. Try to get Mason, but I don't know who else you could drop. Jay Swole. Get this question several times. Interesting that we have a lot of teams that happen to have both Kyler and JD. The answer is still Kyler.
Yeah, answer is still Kyler. It's because Kyler was just okay this week, and JD was great. But JD was great because he ran in 2 touchdowns, which he can do. He can do that. But I'm still going Kyler.
Right, and he will run a lot, but you got to figure they'll tell him, hey, let's look for your receivers this time, and maybe don't run that much, right? You want to keep him in one piece. Kyler Murray can run in touchdowns too. He's done it before. So I'm going to go Kyler Murray for sure. By the way, also good time mention we're actually caught up finally. Notice some people might have logged off because there's some sort of like arguing on TV going on between 2 people at a podium. People are watching that.
Really? You're choosing that over this?
Not us. Frizzle said, download the app. Looks great. Good to hear, which, by the way, if you don't know what the app is, talking about Draft Lane app. So just a good time to mention before we get out of here. If you haven't tried the app yet, well, It's free and it looks great. Draftlane.com. You go there, it'll take you to the download links to show you what it's all about. Or just go to your app store, go to your Play Store, and again, just search Draftlane. It's free. Download it, and you can check out all the things it has to offer. What we just finished doing for the last almost 3 hours, start sit, waiver wire, trade questions, all of that. You can do it on the app. You can do it, anytime you want. Don't have to wait for us to be live. But good news is we're going to be live again. And we'll be back, in fact, tomorrow, Thursday, pretty much every day, except for Friday nights. And we will help you again with all your questions. So I also should remind you, we do have one more super chat. But let me remind you, since we're still in that frame of mind. Underdog, it's free too. Now, if you want to put some pick'ems, do some weekly drafts, any of that stuff, well, sure, you put some money in. But here's the good news is you can use a no sweat token. This is something they're come up with, a very recent addition. They had this promotion last week. Obviously, it was popular enough. They're doing it again. People like it because what it means, no sweat, you use that token on one of your picks and you can get your money back if it doesn't cash. So it's like what is that? That's a mulligan, right? Am I using that right? This is a golf term.
Yes.
It's kind of like a mulligan, right?
Yes,
okay.
Kind of like a mulligan.
Mulligan. All right. I told you I played a lot of mini golf, not so much real golf. You can also, if you're new to Underdog, you get this free pick. You can get it before Thursday. Josh Allen, just 1 yard. Yes, that's right. 1 total yard. If he gets a yard, you win that pick. Combine it with any other pick, and you're already winning. And of course, you already got free cash because you get this bonus cash up to $1,000 in bonus cash. They're going to match 50% of that for your first deposit, but you need to use that code. Use code ENDGAME to use that. All right. We do have some more super chats, though, before we do go.
All right.
Quinn is in the house. What's up, Quinn? Dropping in at the end here. Can we drop Polk? He says he needs to replace Watson. Well, okay.
But, I mean, yeah, I think you can drop Polk, but...
Oh, sorry. Hold on. Here we go.
Okay.
So you got Love, Watson, Nico, Marv, Terry, Brees, Zeus, McBride, Corum. Didn't really have a very good week 1, I'm guessing.
No. How much fab? When you said Robinson, I assume you mean DeMarcus Robinson. I mean 7-8%. Something like that. I wouldn't spend too much. Like he's, Puka's gonna be back. $7-8 out of 100, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe 3.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's not Brian Robinson. I doubt it because you got guys like Sharp and Dowdle in there. So if it's DeMarcus Robinson, a few bucks, that's it. Yeah. You can still start Terry and Marv. They'll be better, right? They'll be better going forward. So, yeah, you can drop Polk though. Okay, Black Mamba was offered Hill and White for Chase and Etienne.
Oh, this is actually tough. I mean, my instant reaction was like, just take Tyreek Hill and don't even worry about Chase and the Bengals. But what if next week, or what if this week Tank Bigsby gets like 4 touches and it's all Etienne again? And what if the Bengals at some point look like the Bengals again?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm really going to be in on the Bengals, but I could still be in on Chase, right? I mean, I'd rather have Hill. Yeah. It's Etienne and White. I might take the Hill side. This is tough.
It's tough because, I mean, my gut reaction is like, just take Tyreek Hill and don't worry about it, right? Just take Tyreek Hill and don't even have to worry about it. Tyreek Hill is going to be great almost every single week. You don't have to worry about it. But what if Etienne, again, what if it's just like a week 1 thing where they're like, there's something about the matchup they like Tank? I don't know. You know what I mean? And now this week it's like Etienne gets 20 touches and Tank gets 5. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, I traded away Etienne. You know what I mean? I don't know. My gut, my instinct was just say to take Hill, so I guess I'll just say take Hill.
This could go either way, honestly. Etienne is the real wild card here. Is he going to be in a timeshare, or is he going to be back to kind of what he did last year? But yeah, this is a tough one. I might lean Hill side though. All right, and then let's answer. Jordan has a question. Is asking what does FAB mean? You can see FAB all over the place.
I forget what it stands for, like free agent acquisition budget, I think, or something like that. I don't know who came up with that, but basically it's like you get a season long budget, usually $100, but it can vary for leagues. It's not real money, it's fake money. And then for waiver wire, if you want to pick up a player, you bid a certain amount on him, like $10. And if your bid is the highest bid, you get him. If somebody bids $12, they get him.
Yep, exactly. It's the money you use to get these players. It used to be FAAB, free agent acquisition budget, like you said. And then a couple of years ago, there was that movement to say, well, you don't own players, you can't own them. So you're not acquiring them. So it's just free agent budget. It's like, look, it's fantasy. Literally in the name, it says fantasy. It is fake. We know we don't own anybody. So, but FAB, right. Free agent budget. We're GMs. Okay. We're not owners.
Yes. See, I didn't know that was the thing. I still use FAAB. I just thought that's how it always was. I didn't know FAB was the new thing.
All right. And then O-Rod. Would you trade Puka for Deontay or Higgins? No.
No. Just hold on to Puka.
I don't think I would trade him for Deontay and Higgins at this point. All right.
Here we are.
All of a sudden, we got another super chat. Lost CMC, Puka, and Ferguson. That's great. Got the one. Okay, well, at least you got the one. Will you use it unlikely?
No. I know you lost Ferguson, but you might not even have lost him. I mean, I don't think he's playing this week, but it might not be very long. I don't think likely he's gonna be a league-winning tight end unless Andrews gets hurt. So I would just hold it. Wake up tomorrow morning, see if Parkinson is still there or somebody like that. And no, right. I wouldn't use my number one on Bucky Irving either.
Don't use it on DeMarcus Robinson. Use it. If somebody drops, I mean, obviously you have Puka, but if somebody drops a good player for no reason, somebody really stands out next week, but no, don't use the number one claim on guys like this. You could stream tight end and it's fine. All right. And then Gavin Rowe, sell high on guys like Dobbins and Pollard.
I mean, yeah, again, if you're really selling high. So, like, don't trade Dobbins for Bucky Irving or something like that, or, Tank Bigsby. But if someone's like, hey, like we saw one earlier, Chris Godwin for Dobbins, like, give me Chris Godwin. I mean, if somebody's going to give you a really good wide receiver like that, then, or they're like, Tank Dell's terrible. Okay, give me Tank Dell for Dobbins. Give me Tank Dell for Pollard all day.
And don't be afraid, instead of sitting back and waiting for someone to offer you, go start making offers. Buy on a receiver who busted in week 1. Try to get a Terry McLaurin, right? Try to get a Tank Dell for Dobbins. You might be surprised. People will go for it. Alex Sanchez, trying to upgrade at running back. Who can I target with Moss and Rice or Devontae Smith? And then asking, well, who do you like better rest of the season, Rice or Smith?
I still like Smith better rest of the season. I mean, I had him higher, and nothing I saw in week 1 changed. I don't think people realize how good Devonta Smith was in week 1 because A.J. Brown had that big game. Devonta Smith had like 7 catches for 74 yards in week 1 against that Green Bay secondary. Like, he was really good in week 1, but he just got overshadowed by A.J. Brown. So I still have Devonta Smith number 1 between those two. So if I could, I'd try to trade Rice and Moss. So probably looking at, I don't know, like you're trying to, what do you say, trying to get a running back or trying to get a running back?
Yeah,
So I
upgrade
mean,
at running back, like maybe like a Kenneth Walker. Is that
maybe
not high enough?
I could probably do that. I think that feels pretty fair. Kenneth Walker, James Cook, maybe Josh Jacobs, maybe Derrick Henry, because people are a little down on Derrick Henry, but yeah, guys like that.
Yeah, Derrick Henry, that's a good idea. I forgot that game was so long ago, almost a whole week. I forgot he was a bust. He only scored 1 touchdown. Why not? I mean, you would think, but again, you would always be shocked some of the trades that go down. You guys have already heard some of them. Just try. And then Carlos Ariel Ramos. Should you release, gonna guess Javonte Williams, definitely not Jameson, and take Ty or Coleman?
Well, if that's Ty Chandler, no. I mean, Ty Chandler didn't impress me. Coleman, maybe. I don't want to just drop Javonte Williams, but I mean, Keon Coleman was drafted ahead of Javonte Williams in almost every league, so I assume if Keon Coleman is out there, no one's rushing out to pick up Javonte, so I might drop him in a league where Keon Coleman is available.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on your roster. How deep are you at running back? Is Javonte your third running back? Maybe not. If he's your 4th or 5th, okay, fine. You can drop him. I probably would hold on to him for another week, but if you want to take a chance or if you need help at receiver more than running back, you could get Coleman. Not for Ty, though. We got a lineup check here. Mary Jo is back. Mary Jo does play in an 8-team league. I remember that. Hurts, Connor Bijan, AJ, Nico McBride, Worthy at the flex. And then, of course, the best kicker in the game, Aubrey. Would you go anybody? You got Harrison on the bench, Pittman on the bench, B-Rob. Any changes?
I mean, yeah, I'm putting Pittman or Marvin Harrison in over Worthy. I'm not just going to chase what happened last game again. It wasn't like Worthy was so involved in the offense. I know on any given week, Worthy can do what he did last week. But he could also do absolutely nothing. So, I mean, I'm not super high on Pittman this week, and I am a little nervous about Harrison, but I don't know. Can I do Worthy over those? I feel like this is just chasing the guy who had the best week last week. I'm just chasing that, and I'm expecting it again.
Yeah, I agree.
I might even go Brian Robinson, honestly.
I'm big on B-Rob. I'm okay with that. I don't love Pittman this week. His matchup, I think he'll be okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that. B-Rob instead of Worthy. Go for it. And then she also needs some defense help. Baltimore Chargers, Commanders. Oh, you can't start Commanders.
No. Even against Daniel Jones, I'm not doing Commanders. Baltimore, I might do even though Chargers have a great matchup, I mean, Baltimore a much better defense, and they get Gardner Minshew and the Raiders. I think I'm going Baltimore.
Baltimore at home, they should be fired up after playing the Chiefs and losing again. Minshew doesn't really turn the ball over too much. That's the only thing. So I'll say what I usually say with defense. If your league weighs more heavily turnovers than anything, I might go Chargers. If points against matter, I think Baltimore's still pretty solid. And Baltimore's solid anyways. Baltimore is clearly a safer pick. So one of those. But yeah, even against Daniel Jones, I don't think we can start the Commanders defense probably ever.
No.
All right, let's get to the last word here to Frizzle again. We got to go check that draft lane out because he just submitted a request. So
all right,
appreciate that.
Nice.
All right. And so, yeah, guys, if you do have any questions, we didn't get to you in time, again, download Draft Lane, absolutely free. Go ahead and check all the options it's got on there. And we will be back. Don't worry. Back to stream again tomorrow. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. No, much love to all you guys for watching us, sticking with us. So we will be back and we'll see you again next time.